You can't think of it? I was trying to catch you when you were like mid-talk and just press record, and you saw me press record.
No, I didn't even know that's what you were doing.
Oh, no, your brain just froze.
I was thinking of...
8 Mile.
Is it Dirty Mile? I mean,
8
Dirty
Mile.
Mile? I mean, fuck. What's that movie with the chick that's in it, and then they're like in a bad school? Oh, Coolio. I used to rap Coolio, but that's because I used to think I was a gangster.
Really?
Yeah. So I was all going to rap him right now, and I'm like, I don't fucking know the words.
You're going to spit some bars? You're going to freestyle?
Yeah, because this makes me want to be like... But now I can be like, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. Something about a rabbit in a hat.
Oh, yeah.
I'll figure it out. Halfway through this, I'll start singing something. Baby shark, do.
Do you want to do the intro?
No.
Okay, so
welcome
back.
I don't know how to do the intro. I'm all, no, wait, what do we do?
I just imagine, like, if I asked you, would you want to do the intro? Like, how would you assume an intro goes? I'll give you this. The title is Slob on the Pod. It's episode 45, and you're introducing yourself, so go.
Okay, let's do it.
You could do a welcome back.
Did you see how I just went,
Yeah,
okay.
I was like, oh, she didn't hear anything I said.
Full disclosure, I've only had like 3.5 hours of sleep, and I worked last night. So that's probably why I'm all,
That's good.
Okay.
That's how we want most of our guests.
Was Eric's mouth on this?
His mustache and hair.
It's all.
Yeah, last person was Eric.
How many girls were on this now? Just kidding. I'm from Eric's mustache I'm talking about.
You're 3 now. Oh, okay. Okay, then I don't know.
Rubbing his mustache on. I'm like, yeah.
We're going to get a rapid test on that
Just
one.
Kidding, yeah.
I'll do it. Welcome back to Slob on the Pod, episode 45. And I have a really...
Oh, shit, I'm 45?
Yeah, episode 45. So that's like a good number.
Shit, you want to try the intro again? I cut you off.
Welcome back to Slob on the Pod. I don't even know why I say it like that. Like if I'm like, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we got a hot, steamy video. Welcome back to episode 45, Slob on the Pod. We have Amber Garnica in the house.
Yes.
I don't want to say in the building because last time I said that, it sounds stupid. So
this
welcome.
This is a building, though.
Eric said the same thing.
Fuck! Don't mention that guy on here. I'm trying to get more views.
Sorry.
On him.
Oh yeah. My bad. Sorry.
Fool.
So welcome, Amber, to my podcast.
Hi.
You've always been someone that, like, as soon as I started it, a lot of people were like, "You need to get Amber. You need to get Amber." And and you're one of like my favorite people that I never hang out with. If that makes any sense.
Well, why don't you hang out with me if I'm your favorite person?
I don't know.
It's because you're too.
You
cool,
work
right?
a lot.
Okay. Well.
So for a lot of you guys don't know, I'm just gonna throw this out there. She's pretty much like a superwoman, like hero. She's a nurse. She's a mom of 2. She's the hun.
The hun.
She's the wife of Steven Garnica.
Oh yeah, I'm the honey.
The owner.
I'm the sugar mama
of the CrossFit. Yeah. You guys all think Steven's bringing in the bank. It's really her.
No, it's not.
She's the one supporting his dream.
I'm actually pimping him out. I'm trying to get him to be a stripper so we can like do more on the house. I'm like, you're gonna have to like start stripping.
Yeah.
He won't let me do it, so I'm like, if
Give
I
some
can't
strip
do it,
classes at the gym.
He won't let me do twerk classes there.
That should be. Yeah, it would.
Money.
It would, and it'd help a lot of like relationships out, because like I think that's like something that like you want to add some spice to your life, like twerk for me.
Twerk on his face, yeah, got it.
Yeah.
I hate that I said that.
I know. I'll bleep it out. I'll bleep it out.
Beep, beep.
I know.
Yeah.
Every 2 minutes you're just gonna hear beep beep, and it's just Amber saying like the raunchiest stuff. Yeah. Oh, good. There's another one.
I'm a labor and delivery nurse. Yes.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, but that's my like.
Oh, okay.
I had to check a lot of vaginas.
So with that being said, and I like that you said that, because I always just assumed.
It's very weird.
The piece of shit in me just assumed like, oh, you just check temperatures, you do the thing where they you get the vital signs, and then you're like, oh, here, go to this room.
Yeah.
But no, you're like in it.
Oh yeah.
You're like all.
So like a labor and delivery nurse will do everything up until the baby, like pretty much like the baby is almost coming out, and then they come in and they like catch the baby. I mean, we talk to the doctors and stuff like, hey, this is what's going on, but we get all of the information, like all the stuff that's going on, and we assess them, and then we give that to the doctors, and then they tell us what to do, and then we do it. And then when the baby's about to come out, well, we push with them for a while, and then when it gets time for them to get closer to delivery, then we call the doctors in, and they take all the glory,
wow.
bring the baby in.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, they come in after you've done all the hard work,
right,
all the heavy lifting. It's like, oh, and then they come in for the picture. All right, here, back to you.
Okay, so I tell everybody, like, there's like these pictures at our work that's like what what the patients think we do, and it's like us pulling out their trays and being servants to them. Exactly, and then there's like what our family thinks we do, like sitting there holding babies, what we think we do, and we're like running down the hallway fast with super capes, on. But yeah, I'm pretty sure my family, when I first started, was like, all you do is hold all the babies. People don't want you holding their babies. Like, it's weird, right?
I mean,
like no,
yeah.
they like you hold their babies, but I'm not in their room for like 8 hours of my shift being like, can I hold your baby? That's weird. That's
Yeah.
like creepy vibes.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, like, as a mother, like, once you have your kid, the first thing you want to do is hold your kid.
Oh, but
the
you-
one thing that's been causing all that pain,
Yeah.
you just want to squeeze it in your
Well,
arms. So it's like,
Yeah, sometimes. You'd be surprised. Some people are like, are you going to take the baby to the nursery so I can sleep? And I'm like, oh, no, boo-boo.
oh!
Boo-boo, no, you are keeping this baby.
Right away, you're like, oh, this is not going to work out.
No, you're never sleeping again for the rest of your life. I'm 36 years old. My mom doesn't sleep. She still worries about me. So
Oh, no.
you're
It's very
never
true.
sleeping.
That's very true. Isn't it weird how things switch, and as you get older and your parents get older, like, you become the babysitter?
Right.
Is it that way with you guys? Because I
Well,
feel like with me, I'm the one now. It's crazy as enough. Like, I'll be home on a Saturday night, you know, and then my mom will be like, "Can you come pick me up from the club?" And it's like, "What are you doing out?"
Oh.
Or she'll be like drinking, and I'm like, "Mom, like, are you good?" Like, and then it turns into like, just please text me when you get home, please. Like, it turns into that.
I don't have to babysit. Well, my dad doesn't drink, and my mom, she works nights too. She works in the same department as me, so I get to work with my mom.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's cool, but sometimes if she's mad at me, then then I still get in trouble at work.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that does kind of suck.
They're like, your mom's the best. I'm like, yeah, she's not grounding you. Like,
Yeah, so I worked with my mom. She was like the manager. Sorry, Mom. But like everyone was like, yeah, your mom's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, because she's she has to be nice. Otherwise, you guys can like write a complaint.
Right.
Like once we get home, like I get the shit.
right. And then it'll be like my mom, she's been working there for like, I think 26 years, 27 years. I think she only has 3 more years to hit 30 years. And when I started, she's like, Amber, you got to be professional. Look, there is nothing professional about me, okay? If you know me, it's just like I am vulgar. I do. Last night I was behind the chair because it was so chaotic at work. Last night I was behind the chair and they're like, what are you doing? And I was just like on the bottom, just la la la. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm practicing. I want to stretch out and see if I can do this stripper life because at this point, that would be way less stress and way more money.
Right? Yeah.
And they were like, oh my God. So like, hello, Amber, not professional, right? But
They're like, we got a baby delivery. Can you please get off the pole?
In my defense, my baby was delivered. I had moved her, and everything was okay.
Okay.
All right. I was
all
getting my next patient.
right,
Okay.
all right. On
Full
the record.
disclosure.
On the record.
I didn't have it was okay to be twerking at that point. And I was, if we're gonna go technicalities, I was stretching. So I didn't pull anything at work.
There you go.
Okay. Let's just be honest.
It gets crazy at work.
So, my mom would be like, you need to call me Miss Hope at work. Because when we call, we're like, it's about Sarah. So it's kind of like a walkie-talkie that you call. And it's like, call Amber Garnica. And it'll be like, calling Amber Garnica. And it's, like a microphone so everybody hears everything. Okay. So when I call people, this is what they say. Amber, you're on speaker. I'm in a patient's room. Because I'll be like, yo, what's up, sexy? And they're like, no, we're in a patient's room. I'm like, okay.
Amber's like on the loudspeaker,
That's
like,
the first-
y'all see that ugly ass baby in room 6?
No,
and they're just like,
I would never say
like,
that.
Amber. I know, but it'd just be so funny.
But
like,
it's more like the names I call them, or like, yo, I'm about to get a snack. You want to get some of this snack? Like just like dirty talk.
Yeah.
I work with nothing but girls, so it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would call my mom, and she'd be like, you need to call me Miss Hope. Because I'd be like, Mom, can I get baby papers to room 136? And she'd be like, Amber, you need to call me Miss Hope.
Text you.
Not Mom. No, she'll do it in front of me. She'll be like, you not Mom. It's not professional. You need to be professional. So you can actually like instead of calling like, let's say you have a person, right? Instead of being like, hey, call Amber Garnica, you can push like, learn a name. And it'll be like, okay, spell the last name. You spell the last name. I don't know why I'm giving you the logistics of it. But
no, this is cool because this is stuff that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, so then it'll be like, call Amber. And you say it 3 times. And so then, like, let's say I wanted to have a nickname, right? If I was like, call Sugar Nips. And it would be like, call the RC, right? And every RC that worked was Sugar Nips because that's what it's under.
Oh,
that's what it would be.
Okay.
So for my mom, I was like, hold, please. And she was like, what? And so in front of her, I'm like, learn a name. And she was like, what the heck? And I was like, they're like, what name would you like to learn? And I was like, Hope Rosales. That's my mom's name, by the way. And
shout out to Hope Rosales.
And they were like, okay, say the name. And I'm like, Mom, my mom. And so anytime I say, call my mom, call mom,
yeah.
it says calling Hope Rosales. And she's like,
wow.
So every time I'm in a room, I'm like, call my mom. And then she like comes in and she's like, Amber.
That's got to be crazy.
And I don't speak Spanish. So she had to translate for me one time. And she was so embarrassed because she's like, Amber, this is embarrassing that I have to translate for you. I'm like, not for me. You didn't teach me, so not for me.
Exactly.
And I went in the house. I went in the room, and I was like, she's like, and she was embarrassed because she had to translate for me. And I'm like, Mom, they don't even know you're my mom. And I like smirked. She goes,
you said,
no.
Mom.
And I said, hi, this is my mom. She's going to translate for me in Spanish. And they just kind of looked at her and looked at me and she goes, God dang it, Amber.
And it's like you could just, I mean, you could just be like, oh no, that's her nickname. We call everyone her mom.
Yeah.
Like we call everyone mom.
She's
but
the mom.
still, that's
Can
so
we
funny.
just explain that that's a dog, okay? That's not me all.
Oh
okay,
yeah. Oh, they know at this point.
Audio,
they see the pug.
For the audio,
yeah.
you know, because it's like Amber's in the background all. Like it just sounds weird. Okay,
Yeah, they're like,
so
oh,
you know.
she's pretty tired from talking.
Oh, she talks a lot, huh?
Yeah.
She's all winded.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just getting started. I can go.
Yeah, I know you're going on pretty hot.
Yeah.
I mentioned your full name, right? All right, cool. I just want to make sure I get that out there.
What's my full name?
Amber
Garnica. Oh, okay.
Amber
I was like, do you guys have a name for me?
What's your
outside of-
maiden name? Can I ask?
Yeah,
Okay,
but it's super white. Wilmer.
Really?
Yeah.
Wilmer. Well, yeah, that's a pretty white name.
Amber Nicole Wilmer. It don't get no whiter than that.
Oh, Nicole's the middle name.
Yeah.
Amber Nicole Garnica, ACG. That's dope.
Yeah. So
Wilmer though. That's super white.
That's super white.
Is that from your mom or your
It's
dad?
my dad.
Your dad, obviously, though.
My mom's Ramon. Hopefully nobody wants to steal my identity. Now I'm giving out all my maiden names.
Yeah. What's your social, by the way?
Oh, that is actually.
So it's.
I almost started it. I'm like,
Wow, I know, huh? Does yours start with a 6? Just throwing that out there.
No.
Okay. Cool.
But I'm from Texas, so mine's different.
Oh, okay. Does that?
So you'll never know.
I have no idea how that fucking works. So let me ask you a question because you said like you were like, oh, I'm just saying crazy shit about like that people probably don't want to know, but like it's true. Like I said, you to me were just like get the vitals and then go to that room.
Yeah.
But you do way more. So with that being said, have you ever had like a time where I've always wondered this? What happens to babies when the parents haven't figured out a name yet? What do you guys write?
I don't know. I don't do that part. My mom does.
Oh man, I was really hoping.
No. So okay. So if you have 24 hours to pick out a name. Otherwise, when it goes on the birth certificate, it doesn't have a name. It'll be baby boy or baby girl and the last name. And then you have to go through a process, I think, to get it changed. And don't quote me on that. I'm not sure, but it's something like that. That's what they tell me. But I don't do the birth certificate part and all that. The USR people do that. I don't know. And they'll ask me too. They'll be like, what do we do for this? And I'm like, I don't really know paperwork stuff.
You're like, I just finger you and help the baby come out.
Okay, first off, let's not say it like that. I also do postpartum stuff. Okay, like I help with breastfeeding and I make sure they're not bleeding and I help make sure the baby's breathing. I don't just.
Is that tough? Like it's just like dealing with like other parents because you've gone through it twice, obviously.
Yeah.
Like and then like to see other parents go through it and you're just like you're doing it wrong. Like and they're like brand new parents.
I think it's easier for me than other people who don't have kids because then you get the parents that are like, well, do you have any kids? And they're like, no. Well, what the hell are you telling me?
Yeah,
for? You know
that's very true.
So for me, no. I've breastfed my kids, but I bottle fed my kids, and I worked. So like when they have issues like that, or there's like the emotional part of the nursing where they have questions or they're concerned or like a lot of ones are like, I want to breastfeed, but I'm going to go back to work in 3 weeks because that's what I have to do. Like, how do I, and talking to them about like, hey, after my first one, I went back after 3 weeks. I get where you're coming from. Just no matter how you feed your baby, you're feeding your baby. It doesn't matter if you're breastfeeding, bottle feeding, tube feeding, whatever you have to do to get your baby fed is what you do. Yeah. But I think there's so much pressure on moms to be a certain way that they feel they have all this extra pressure. So I've also been like, I've had my baby without being in induction, and then I've been in induction where they have to help me go into labor.
Oh, okay.
So when I am in labor, I can explain that to my patients. Hey, like when they get really frustrated, hey, I know this sucks. I've been there. Yeah. I know your frustration.
That's good.
So let me explain to you, like, this is how the A, B, and C is working. And if we try it this way, this is how this is going to go. And I wish I would have known this when I was going through this. And this is so then it helps out more than if I wasn't at all. Yeah. But then there's some amazing labor nurses that are not moms that I think they're better than me. So
yeah,
I guess it just depends.
But it does help though. Like you said, like when they ask like, well, do you have any kids? Like obviously they're like in a different state of mind. They're, tired, whatever. So they're probably like, what do you like? Who are you telling me? Like, do you even have kids? And you're like, actually I do. I have 2. And they're like, oh, okay. Opposed to like someone that's, like a young, fresh out, nurse or whatever, fresh out of school. And they're just like, do you have any kids? It's like, no. It's like, all right, bitch, get out of here. Like, you don't know what I'm going through. Yeah. So the fact that you have that experience does help. But yeah, I can see where there's like.
So with COVID, it's a little different. There's not a lot of visitors. But before that, you would also have the mom or the grandma or the aunt or the cousin coming in, giving them
everybody that's been through this shit, like how they should deal.
That you're like, okay, hold on, but here, this is how we do it. Or like, hey, this is what you need to do. I know. Well, if she just does it like this, or, oh, she doesn't have any milk. So she needs a bottle. And I'm like, hold on. She literally delivered an hour ago. She has like, this is okay. And then you have to like educate them, but it's because they've done it before. Or a lot of times it would be like the other people would take away from the patient's experience. Well, when I had my delivery, when I was pregnant, and then you have to like pull them back. Hey, this is her experience. Yeah. And I think I was really naive too. When I went into nursing, I was like, I'm going to be a labor and delivery nurse. It's going to be amazing. Everybody's going to be so excited to have babies. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And when I went into it, that's wrong. Yeah. Not everybody is happy to have a baby.
Of course not.
There are horrible situations. There are people, you know, on drugs trying to survive, who knows their story, you know, and they get pregnant and you don't know their story, but you can't judge them and be like, oh my God, she's in here again. She doesn't have any custody of her kids, you know, and
she didn't even keep the last
you don't even know like
yeah.
how bad her life is, that, or why she's doing what she's doing just to survive, you know, and that is really hard to do. Like to go from one room with a patient like that, and then to go and have a patient who's on her 7th miscarriage who just wants a baby, but then you have somebody who can't keep their kids, you know, and it's very frustrating and mentally draining to provide the same care for both of them without judging either one of them.
Yeah, it's
and not
so
taking
tough.
one issue out and projecting that on another person. Well, at least you have your baby, okay? So, you know, and it's a lot of nursing too. And I would tell Stephen, like, sometimes I would come home more mentally exhausted than physically exhausted.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And then
like,
you have like, you know, like the babies who don't make it and stuff. And though that's really hard for the parent too.
And as well as on you guys. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
At the same time, like, I don't know about you, but like, I don't know if people get this, like nurses or doctors get the feeling where like, if there's something I could have done a little more, maybe the baby would have survived. Like, there's so much like when that happens.
Sometimes they come in already like, hey, I haven't felt my baby move, and the baby's been gone for a while. That's tough. You know?
Yeah.
And so that's hard for the parents, and to have like continuity of care where they don't have a bunch of different nurses coming in. They will have the same nurse for the remainder of the time that they're there. So that way that same nurse is going in. But that's hard on that nurse too, because she's in there the whole time doing that. And emotionally, you're doing way more emotionally than actually physically, and that's draining too. Yeah,
and that's the thing. That's a good point you bring up. I've never even thought about that. The fact that like say if I've been in the hospital and I have a nurse come in and she's super like, oh, how you doing? Super happy, and it's because like, you know, I'm in good spirits. I'm like getting better, so it's like I don't realize like the next room she goes into is probably like a patient that's dying, or the next patient is someone that lost a baby, or the next patient is someone that, you know, like it's
and
crazy.
You quickly have to change your emotions,
exactly.
And it's very, very hard.
You can go from one room where it's like, oh, this kid, you know, just got out of surgery, everything's going great, he's gonna go back home to his family, everything's happy. But then you got to go into another room where like someone just passed away, and you got to deal with all that, and it's like
that's
you got to go from.
I don't do that part, but yes, same thing.
Yes, but I know, but like even then, like just like. You just
even
don't
like
think
in the
about
ER,
like
I'm sure that mentally, like nursing is very draining mentally. And then we have like long shifts, and I work night shifts, so I'm look, I'm a basket case in general, and then you put me on night shift, sleep deprive me, and overload me on caffeine, and it's
just... How do you get through the nights? Is there certain like drinks, like energy drinks? Because I feel like at some point energy drinks don't work, coffee doesn't work.
Well,
like...
when I first
Can
stop
nurses
doing
take
night
cocaine?
shift. Okay, I think we could lose our boards for that. I don't know. I don't do cocaine. I do a lot of caffeine though. But I remember I could chug a bang at 6 a.m. in the morning, getting off, and I could go to bed by 7:30. Like that.
Exactly.
That is to the point where like I was having over 1,000 milligrams of caffeine, and I was fine, and I would still be tired. And I was like, I need to switch this up. This is not good for me. And then I switched to like to Monday through Friday, 6 to 3, working in the OR. And that was cool. But I did miss having a random Tuesday off to do all my laundry, to do all my stuff, because I'm married to a Mexican. So pre-COVID, you know there's parties every weekend. You got to if you don't make it to every carne asada, you are in trouble. Why are you not here? I just saw you yesterday. You need to come to this one, though. It's Sunday. Yeah. You need to be at this carne asada. You know, or if you're not at every quinceañera, wedding, party, every cousin's birthday party, and you know they got a lot of kids. So
being a Mexican is exhausting, right?
I feel like it's from like September through March is like every fucking weekend. Don't even make plans. There's something, and so, that was the one thing I didn't like, is I felt like there was something every weekend, and I never got to catch up, and then I was rushing for the week. So,
and so like obviously I feel like you and Steven had like a dynamic sort of. Being that
a yin and yang, a calm and a wild.
Exactly.
Right.
And so for a lot of you guys don't know, I actually want to go back to something real quick.
Go back to whatever you want.
So when me and Amber first met, I didn't know anything really about you at all.
When did we first meet?
I want to say the first time was at one of the first Fridays at Coffee City.
Oh, okay.
And so I had known your guys' story about, you, Steven, Aiden and stuff. So first time I meet you, I say hi to everyone else, and then I say hi to you. And I say hi to you last just because
you've been
it
warned?
was the first time. So I'm like,
But you've been warned. They're like, hey, that's Amber. She talks, so make sure you talk to her last because she's not going to let you talk to somebody else.
No, not even that. It was just like, I was like, well, I know everyone else, so I'm not just going to randomly, like, to this new girl, like, for me, hey, what's up? I'm Jordan. And so Steven was like, oh, this is Amber. And I was like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. And you're like, oh, so you're not going to give me a hug either? Like, don't. And then she was like, don't you know my kid has cancer? Like, don't you feel
shit.
She was like, feel sorry for me. And I was like, I was like, but no, hold on. Let me get to this real quick.
You're making me sound
No,
horrible.
it's not bad at all. And so, like, and because of that, I've always been a person with, like, dark humor and that's the best way to get through things.
Okay, yeah. And you have to have dark humor. If you're a nurse, you have dark humor. And if you've been in a really dark spot, that is the only way out.
It's because it's like, you're not going to forget about it. So you might as well just like make fun of it and like just learn how to roll with the punches. So anyway, so she's like, you're not going to give me a hug? Like, don't you know what my kid has cancer? Like, feel sorry for me. I'm like, I was like, God. And in my head, I'm thinking like, she's just like me. Like, that's something I would have said. Like, aren't you going to let me cut? My kid has cancer.
You would have like thrown him under the bus just to make him feel bad just for your own laugh.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I think I met the female me. Like, I met my sister. And so from that point on, like, it's always been like that with Amber. Like, anytime she's always been like a straight up person.
Just for clarification, I don't say my kid has cancer for free shit.
No.
Yeah, I don't use that to be like, feel sorry for me. Let me cut in Disneyland. Let me do. No, I don't do that. It was just, I knew the kind of person you were. I had heard about you, like, oh, Jordan, because they'd always be like, oh, you would love Jordan. You guys are like the same. I'm like, oh, okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
Talk this guy up. Let's see what he can handle.
I know, and she got me. I was like, oh, she wins.
Jordan speechless. Yes.
Yeah, but so from that point on, I was like, so it's cool because I haven't met a lot of people, especially since I was in the military. I had that type of humor.
Yeah.
Coming out, meeting friends now, and I try to do that, and they're just like, I don't know. They're like, Joe, you're gonna say that out loud, and like, so then meeting someone that isn't even from the military, that's just your personality. I'm like, oh, she's naturally like this.
I could have made it in the military.
Yeah, I was like, this is dope. And so I was like, I can do my humor to her. I can be like, yo, where's the cocaine? And she can be like,
I'm not gonna know.
Exactly. Everyone else is like, yo, keep it down. But like, no, Amber's in the back, like, yeah, give him some cocaine. Like, it's so cool. So like from that point on, like I was just like,
And just so we're aware, I don't do cocaine because you said it like 5 times. If you were gonna think
I'm on cocaine right now, so I'm super hyped.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm on 4 shots of espresso and Alani's, okay?
Shout out to our sponsor, Cocaine and Alani's. I'm just kidding. I'm not a cocaine. But yo, another thing, these Alani's,
the best.
Hard to find. And they're really good.
Shout out to Daisy for telling her local liquor store
to restock
on the corner
to stock them up?
Hey, can you stock these? Because they don't sell them at liquor stores. So Avenue, I'm not even going to tell you where it's at because then we're not going to have it.
They're going to be gone. Actually, and even shout out to Daisy. So, excuse me. I hit up Steven and I was like, your girl's telling me she will drink anything. What should I get her? And he was like, get her wine. And I'm like, I don't know. That seems too.
Sometimes I like to be classy like that.
And so I was like, yeah, maybe that'd be cool. And I was like, who should I ask that like always drinks? I was like, Daisy. So I messaged Daisy. I was like, hey, someone that always drinks and parties with her, like, what do you think she prefers? So she was like, definitely this and definitely that. I was like, okay, perfect. Aww. So shout out to Daisy for that. Yeah. Daisy was like,
that's my boo right there. Yeah. Funny thing is, I was friends with Daisy's mom before Daisy. I work with Daisy's mom. I love Daisy's mom.
Yeah, it's so funny. You work with like a lot of moms. Well,
I am a mom.
In your field, yeah, I know. I forget that you're so cool. Moms usually aren't cool.
Thank you.
Sorry, mom.
I'm kind of cool, huh?
But so it's funny. Shout out to Daisy because otherwise I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like gonna get White Claws, and then you were like, get White Claws, get beer.
I said don't get whiskey. Whatever you do, I'll drink anything with you.
I should have got
drink whiskey. I turn into Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't hit me right away, so I'm all like, woo! And then all of a sudden I'm like, fuck, shut up. And then
I would have got a text from Steven like, what did you do?
Yeah, I would have gone home and probably like try to pick a fight with him and then ask him to marry me and then, weird shit.
It's like spilling water on gremlins.
Right. Yeah, like I will, yeah. For sure. That's what I turn into. That's why I was like, let's keep it mellow. It's Sunday. Mm-hmm. I still have to like get my kids up for school.
That's very true. Yeah, I know, right? That's another thing too. So you're, like I said, you are a mom.
Right.
Legit full-on mom, 2 kids and everything. On top of your crazy shifts, because you don't have the I'm guessing you don't have like
a set schedule.
Get off work. Oh, I'm gonna go home, take a nap, I'm gonna rest, and then I'll start my day. I'm guessing you get home, it's probably like you probably gotta get the kids ready for school. Like,
Oh no,
how does that work? Like,
because I have Steven.
There you go. That's what I was getting at. Like,
so we are very lucky and fortunate because I actually work with people where they're like, oh, they have to switch shifts, or they're like, they have to get a cousin to come early to stay with the kids while their husband goes to work. And then before Aiden got sick, Steven could go to the gym earlier in the daytime, and the boys would be there by themselves for like 2 hours, and then he would get home, get them ready. I would take them if I could or whatever, because with my schedule, like, it says 6:30 to 6:30, but the next shift doesn't even come in until 6:30, so we don't even get report and get out of there till like 7:30. So it's a 12+ hour shift.
Yeah.
So like today I left at almost 8 o'clock. So this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So then by the time I get home, whatever, take a shower. Oh my God, excuse
You're
me.
good.
Did you
It's
hear that
happening to me
burp?
too.
Sorry.
Welcome, Amber, everybody.
Yeah. Wait till I fart. Just kidding.
Hey, put the mic down.
Yeah, like let's just do it like all the way. Yeah. We'll do it. Steven's he's gonna hate this podcast. So
Hey, he got his shine. It's your turn.
right. So he see, now I'm talking about Steven. I said he. So I'll go home, and like today I'll sleep like 3 hours because I need to get up. I want to function with my kids. I want to go to bed early enough so I can get up with them tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So then tomorrow I'll get up with them, go to school, like take them to school, and then maybe go to the gym. I don't know. Maybe Steven calls me a professional Netflix watcher, so maybe I'll watch just Netflix and do laundry. But yeah, I on the day that I'm gonna be off, I only sleep 3-4 hours at the most.
You try to take advantage of the time.
Yeah,
off,
and then when I do get off on regular shifts, it's like I get off at like 8 in the, I try to be in bed by 9, and then I get up by 2, because then
this is all during the day.
Yeah, and
Morning
so
to-
I go to bed at 9, try to get up by 2. So what is that, like 5 hours of sleep?
Yeah.
5.5 hours of sleep.
Your guess is
and
good
then
as
I would
mine.
go pick up the boys from school, hang out with them, and then I'd go to work again that night.
Oh my goodness.
So
and
that's what I
it's
did.
crazy because do you feel? I mean, because you have kids, do you feel like you have to hang out with them?
So I like I do not like being a zombie to them, and not. Sometimes I feel like I'm just going through the motions.
You're just there, but not interacting.
And I'm trying to
or anything,
interact with them. We're cuddling on the couch, we're doing those things, but sometimes I feel like I'm not fully invested the way I want to be because I'm foggy. Like on the 3 shifts in a row I'm working, especially the first actual day off. But I see my kids more on night shift because I can pick them up from school. I can be with them for like 3 hours before I go to work. Now, when I work day shift, I would go in at 6:30 in the morning before they're even up. And then I would get off at like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. I'd only get to see them for like an hour or so because then they're already getting ready for bed. And then they'd go to bed. And then, so in the 3 days that I worked, I saw maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, wow.
So night shift, like if you ask parents, they see their kids more on night shift. They are just full zombie mode. It's just like a fog. You're just going through motions at that point.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of the other.
You want to see them, but you're also like, whoa.
Yeah, and then you're just kind of like going through the motions. Like, well, at least I'm here, like with my kid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just randomly, this thing just pops in my head as
go
this
for it.
goes. How do you feel about? Because I heard this on another podcast.
If you
I was
ask
listening
me
to.
about cocaine, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck, Jordan?
Do you want some?
No,
Because you keep asking me. You keep bringing it up.
And people are gonna think I do that shit, and I'm like, what the fuck?
For the record, Amber doesn't do cocaine.
This is natural, okay?
Exactly.
This is a natural.
Don't you
fucking
guys
high.
wish you could be like I wish people would be like, are you like on coke or something? Because it's like you're just like so wired. It's like,
Oh,
no,
no,
this
people
is
already
just me
know.
naturally. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
people
it's,
are like-
it's cool. It's a good thing.
When I'm around you, people, they're like, oh, that's just Amber.
Yeah. It's like a buff person. It's like it's almost a compliment when people are like, are you on steroids? It's like, I'm not, but thank you.
Yeah. Are you on cocaine?
I don't know if it
I'm
works the same.
not. I'm just. This is all natural. What?
Yeah, but thanks for the energy. Question.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about girls just whipping out their titty and like breastfeeding in public, restaurants, anywhere? How do you feel about
How
that?
do you feel about pulling out a cheeseburger and feeding yourself? You do it to survive? I'm fine with it.
Well, no, I have no problem with it. I mean,
Right.
I'm a guy. Free the nipple.
Right.
Let me see some titties for free. You know what I'm saying? Without feeling like a creep. But at the same time, like, because I've seen cases where like people will.
So I know what you're talking about. Have you seen the videos of where a girl, full cleavage, almost a nip popping out of her shirt, sitting down half naked, tiny shorts, butt cheeks out in the back, and they are okay to show everything, which it's okay, girls, you can show whatever you want.
Yeah.
But don't also make a woman feel bad because she's feeding her baby when you can't see anything but the top of her boob and you see just as much in
That's
a girl's
very
shirt.
true. Yeah,
So
it's very
I'm
true.
okay with it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just because I know like that's a thing, but do you think at some point we'll get to that point where like you'll
I
just
think
see,
we're in cancel culture, so this generation coming up is soft.
yeah.
Fucking soft.
When were you born?
84.
When I was trying to stray away from that and be like, when did you graduate?
I was born in the 80s.
That's yeah, cool. So
Yeah.
okay, so I mean, do you think it's a big change from that time to now?
Yes.
Like really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that I try to coddle Aiden with, and I'm like, I feel like I get super soft about it too. Like, no, they can't do that. They can't do this. But it's very important for them to learn. Like kids need to learn that you're going to lose.
Yes.
And there is going
Thank
to be failure.
There's no participation award.
Yeah. I mean, you can get a participation award, but know that it's because you participated, not because you won. You won.
You won?
You ran. You won. And that's not bad. Just, I'm not trying to sound like a bitch or anything, but
No, yeah.
I have learned raising my kids. I have learned that I have coddled Aiden the most because, we've talked about like how he has cancer, or had cancer. He's in remission right now, but he still gets chemo. But since he was 10 months old, he's had epilepsy. And I remember I'd be like, he can't bump his head. He can't do this. Oh, we got to do this. Oh, don't put him in these sports because he can't do this. And I would coddle him so much because I wanted to protect him.
Yeah.
But then I wasn't making him strong enough for the world when I'm not here.
Exactly.
Like, what's he going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So he needs to know, like, you're going to lose. You're going to have failure. You probably won't get a job interview that just because you go to 5, you might not get all 5 jobs.
Exactly.
You might not get this. You're not going to get the best grade every time. You're not going to, and he needs to know that so that when that failure happens, he can be like, okay, I knew this could happen, but I'm going to work on this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do this because then they go in life and they're like, oh, this is the culture coming up. This is the generation coming up. Like, oh, what do you mean I have to do this? Well, aren't you just supposed to like, make my coffee right? Aren't you just supposed to like give me the job? Aren't you just supposed to buy me the Xbox that I want?
Yeah.
No, bitch. Like you have to work for that.
Yeah.
And that's like what it is. I want to give my kids everything, but I'm learning like they have to work for it too, because if I were to die, I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to think that everything is okay? That the people that are going to watch them after us are going to do those things for them too?
Exactly.
So yeah, this generation's coming up soft. You're fucking soft.
Yeah, you fucking heard it. And I feel like anytime I talk to someone, that's like the main thing. But I don't like to seem like that old person, like back in my day, or like
no. You know what I feel like? I do that a lot. I'm like, we never did that.
We
shit.
never.
And then I'm like, you know what? Maybe we did. Yeah, but it was different.
It was different. We were just. Yeah. It was just we got a different reaction to it.
Right.
I think that's what kind of fucked it up. But yeah, that's very true though. And so with that being said, obviously with Aiden and his cancer and stuff, so because you have 2 kids, one had cancer and one doesn't, was it tough to like, obviously Aiden needed more help and more attention. Was it tough when did the other one ever give you like that, like, hey, what about me?
Yes.
And did you have to describe like, hey, well, Aiden needs a little bit more help? Like, that's got to be so tough.
So we actually had to get a therapist involved too, and I had to come to the realization that like, hey, like, Evan is involved in this just as much as Aiden.
Exactly.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get emotional.
We have toilet paper right there. It's all ready for you.
You have tissue. You have toilet paper.
I had tissue. My last guest used it all. Eric blowing his nose.
Oh, I was like, who's your last guest, Eric?
I'm just kidding. No, he had like 2, and yeah, we ran out. I'm sorry.
I'm not opposed
we got plans
I
out
am
for
not
you.
opposed to ask.
Yeah.
But so I was so fixated. I feel like a bad mom when I talk about this.
At any time, if I do anything or say anything,
I don't care. I'll talk about whatever.
Okay.
So because I want people to know, I'm hoping that like my experience like helps somebody.
That's why I wanted you.
Because like as much as like, okay, I'm gonna like, me and Steven are all about PMA.
Yes.
Him more like all positive, but I'm more like a realist.
Shit
Because
does
he'll be
happen.
like, he'll be like, oh, you're being so negative. You're being a pessimist. No, I'm being a realist.
Yes.
I want to be prepared for the bad and the good, and I'm a firm believer that you need to feel every single emotion. Those really bad, shitty emotions that you feel, the self-worthlessness, the scared, the frightened, the angry, the everything that like the ones that like hurt your stomach where you're just like, oh, so frustrated. You need to feel those. You like hold those in and you manifest them later on and project them onto something else or someone else because you weren't allowing yourself to feel that.
Yes.
So I will say like I have I feel all those and I need Steven to pull me out sometimes to be like, hey, I'm gonna let you feel this because I know it's very important to you to feel these horrible feelings, but he's the one that like will pull me out and be like, okay, look, let's figure out why you're feeling like this. Like, what's going on that you feel like you need to be this sad or this whatever. Look at Aiden, he's doing great. Look at Evan, you know. And then he has to bring me back like, oh, okay, let's count reasons why everything's good, you know. So when Aiden, and it took us a long time to know each other's triggers when this stuff was going on. It took us a long time to learn who needed to be pulled out and when. So when this happened to Aiden, this was like February 27th of 2019. So this was like 2.5 years ago. I stayed with Aiden in Phoenix, and Steven came to Yuma with Evan, because while our lives were flipped upside down, life still needed to go on. Evan still needed to go to school. While Aiden had a get out of jail free card from school, Evan didn't. And you know, you don't take your kid to school, you go to jail, right? So
yeah, that's very true.
We got so much. Shout out to Miss Valentine though at HLS. She's the most amazing principal ever. She like bent over backwards doing stuff for us, and she would be Evan's little mom, make sure he got a hug every day, make sure he got a jacket, had his water. Like, all the teachers there knew what was going on and kept an eye on Evan, like made sure he needed nothing.
That's awesome.
And so Steven needed to go back to the gym. Steven needed to, I was no longer working, so Steven needed to hustle and make sure everything was taken care of.
Like
and
you said, time didn't stop, so
and
you still had to
did that, and I never, not once, had to worry like what's getting paid, what's doing this. There was money in the account for me and Aiden when we were in Phoenix, and I was with Aiden 24/7 for 9 months straight, never not with him. And that was when we were in Phoenix, and I saw the ugliest of the ugliest. Like, the only two people that know like what really happened to Aiden is me and Steven. And there's stuff that's happened that even our parents don't even know. Like,
of course, yeah.
Because they would lose their mind if they knew how bad it really was.
Yeah.
Or how many times he could have died. Or, you know, watching Aiden be in so much pain that his eyes roll in the back of his head and then he sees because his body hurts so bad.
Yeah.
Or him screaming at us, like begging us in the middle of the night that to make it stop. Like, he's done. Like, I'm in so much pain, I'm done, make it stop. Like, that takes you to a really, really, really dark spot. And so I would see that like all the time. And then I would see the really good stuff. And then I'd be like, oh, okay, so I would come out of it. But I was so fixed on losing him that like I didn't pay attention to like Evan, because in my head, oh my God, Evan's fine. Evan's with Steven. And everybody here, like all of our friends and family, like taking him to Peter Piper, keep having play dates with him, making sure he's at school, doing fun stuff with him while we were in Phoenix, because those things, you know, Aiden can't do. Aiden can't go to Chuck E. Cheese. Aiden can't be around a lot of people because of germs. But Evan's 5. It's not fair to keep Evan. I'm like a hand talker, and this fucking thing is in my way.
Yeah, I know. It kind of helps.
So, like, it's not fair to keep him from not doing stuff. And Steven was with him. So Steven, you know, saw how much Evan felt that way. I wasn't with him. So for me, when he would come, I'd be like, Evan, and he'd be fine. But then there were so many times where we can't do that because of Aiden. We can't, Aiden can't do that. Aiden can't. And everything was Aiden.
That's
from
all
me.
he heard. Yeah.
And that's all Evan heard. And everything we did was for Aiden. And
based around Aiden.
Yeah. And so that was really hard for me to comprehend, because in my head, I'm like, Aiden, Aiden's not even out of the clear. We don't even, and at this point, he wasn't in remission. We didn't even know what was going to happen. And he, you know, then he was in ICU. He was getting blood transfusions. Then there was he was getting neurotoxicity. He had blood clots in his head. I had to carry him because he'd pass out on me. And to me, it was like, Evan, you're fine. Aiden's dying. Like, I don't know how to help him. And that was the worst thing too, is because I was a nurse. So there was so much more pressure on me, because Steven's family would be like, well, not even Steven's family, like everybody, like, hey, but you're a nurse, so it's okay. You know what you're doing. Like we said, I'm a vagina baby nurse. Okay. Like I deal with vaginas and babies. I am not an oncologist nurse. I don't know this stuff. Like, and when you are a mom and you are a nurse, regardless if you're in any profession you do, when you're a mom and shit happens to your kid, you go into survival mode. Exactly. And when shit goes down, I do it. But then there'll be times where the doctor would explain things to me, and it was like, they knew I was a nurse, and I would ask the dumbest questions, like simple questions. And they would just kind of look at me, and I'm like,
they're like, don't you work here?
Yeah. And I'm like, I know this sounds, my brain is mush right now. I'm so like stressed out, and I'm so scared that I can't even comprehend what you're telling me.
You're still trying to comprehend the fact that your young son has cancer.
Yeah.
And like, they're trying to throw this other shit. You're like, can you like layman terms like
Yeah.
talk to me
it's
like you're talking
teen
to like a
pregnancy.
5-year-old?
You know, like when, you know, they're like, oh, don't have sex because you're getting pregnant. You're like, that'll never happen to me. That's like me like, oh, my kid's never going to get cancer, you know? And then he does.
Everyone thinks that.
And
it's the
so-
worst case scenario.
Yeah. So for me, all I saw was Aiden dying and everybody else was healthy. And I'm like, you guys. And Steven would be like, hey, what about Evan? Hey, what about this? Or hey, Aiden's fine. I'm like, he's not fine. He's fine right now, but what in 2 hours? He's going to be in pain. I've seen him be fine and then in 4 hours later be in ICU because now he's super sick, you know? But I saw that and Steven didn't. So he would be like, hey, chill. Like, we need to focus on Evan too. And I'm like, but he's alive. He's fine. Look at he's running around. And I remember one time Evan told me, I wish I got cancer so you could be with me too. And I was like, oh
that's
fuck.
yeah, I know.
So before Evan started first grade, we were back for like a week or so in Yuma before Aiden was going to do chemo again. And we were outside at the neighbor's house and I was checking the mail and Evan was you know, Evan, he jumped off a rock. He slammed his head on the cement. Like he jumped off the rock, but I don't know what happened. Something happened with his foot.
And he busted his head open?
No, he hit his head and you could hear it. Like, so that where we used to live, the mailboxes were on the corner and our neighbor's house was right at the corner and we used to always hang out there. And, all I heard was Amber, and I like ran, and all of a sudden Evan was seizing.
Oh shit!
And he hit his head so bad he was seizing. So we called the ambulance. So here I am going, and mind you, we're a frequent flyer at the ambulance because why? My kid has cancer, so we're there.
They're like, oh hey, what up,
so
Amber?
yeah, so then I come in with my other kid, who is now in the ambulance with a big bump on his head. I was like, CPS is getting fucking called.
Right?
Like,
I know.
You can't keep your kid from getting cancer, and your other kid fell on the cement. What did you do? And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my God. I was like this, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like trying to hide my face. And Evan told me, he goes, and I was there with him. And then, you know, I was talking to the ambulance people. I was talking to the nurses. And Evan got full view of like what I was doing. Oh, because like I was like, okay, we're going to put this like this. Okay, how about you turn like this? I'm going to get you comfortable. Don't do this. Turn the light off because you're, you know. And I'm talking to him and he goes, I see now why you're with Bubba. And I was like, and that's what he calls Aiden. They call each other Bubba. Oh. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, because I'm really scared and you're here and that makes me feel good. He goes, now I see why you're with Bubba. And I'm like,
you make him feel safe.
Yeah. So like at that point, Evan got it. But then Evan is still like very...
he's still a kid.
Yes.
Yes.
And when Aiden first got diagnosed, me and Steven were both up there. And Evan would get bounced around from my sister-in-law's house to my mom's house to whatever family member could watch him while we were gone, right?
Yeah.
Pick him up, drop him off, do all this. Evan would get so stressed out he would throw up. And so
at a young age,
yeah. And so so he talks to a therapist at PCH, and it's the same one that works with the family that works with Aiden, and she's amazing. And I think like she's opened our eyes to a lot of things that we wouldn't have never thought about, and that's helped me and Steven because kids with chronic conditions, not even just cancer, but like his epilepsy and those kinds of things, like most people get divorced. Most people that have a severely sick kid get divorced. They separate. It's too much stress.
There's so much stuff.
Yeah, one parent blames another parent, or like Steven views things differently than I view things. He's like, hey, pay attention to Evan. He's here. And I'm like, our kid's dying. What don't you see about that? But Steven, you know, like
the priorities
we have
are
to like
different.
pull each other back and be like, look at this is what's happening. And so she would open our eyes to that. And we would be like, okay, then we would know how to like talk to each other or what to do or how to help each other. So she's seeing Evan now because Evan has this, he has like PTSD is what she called it, related to separation anxiety. So right now, like Evan cannot not be with me or Steven. And if he's not with one of us, Aiden has to be with him wherever he's at. Or he will FaceTime us. Like there's been times I'm at work and he will be on FaceTime on mute, but in my pocket.
Just to feel that he's near his mom.
Because he like not in my like I'll leave him on the counter like whatever, he's on mute. Well, he just needs to see me, and it's usually like not even that long. It's like while I'm waiting to like get report, like when we're waiting for the person to come in and say, hey, okay, tonight's gonna go great, blah blah blah, and then by then Steven's home.
Yeah.
When Aiden was in the ICU this last time, he was staying with Steven's mom and Daisy in the hotel, and I had to be on FaceTime with him the entire night, even while we were sleeping, because he wasn't with me or Steven, and Aiden was in the hospital. And so he will panic. He will call us. He will multiple times. Like yesterday, I was just cleaning the house, and every time I changed a room, he went in that room. And and it's just he's afraid that nobody is going to pick him up he's gonna be abandoned, like he's gonna be alone, and it's just like rooting back to what happened 2 years ago. And I told the therapist, I'm like, but this was like 2 years ago. She's like, no, this is when it starts to come out. It's gonna get worse before it gets better, and he's just got to like verbalize his feelings. So we have to like acknowledge it. That's why when I was like, hey, he loves pugs, can I bring him, whatever, and you're like, yeah. And then when I told him I didn't know the doors were gonna be open, he was like, what do you mean I'm gonna be in another room? Wait, what do you mean the doors are gonna be closed? And he like panicked. He was crying.
You should have just brought them.
Yeah, he was like, oh, forget that. I'm gonna stay with Dad then.
Yeah.
Because if it's
at least he's near someone.
If
He knows
I'm there,
for sure.
he's like full blown like mama's boy.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, no. I mean, like I said, that you could have brought him. I know, and like I said, from Steven, he told me that he's a huge pug fan, and the fact that you guys don't have pugs is crazy.
Right.
But
well, we have 3 dogs. So.
Yeah, I know.
Like I told you, 2 need to die, or they need to adopt
2 need to die.
So 2 can be for sale, so we can get a pug for Evan.
Please, someone adopt these dogs, or they're gonna murder these
I'm
dogs.
not gonna murder. Oh my god, that would make Evan's anxiety so much worse.
No, but then you bring him a pug, and then he feels better.
If he knew, no, I told you, like he'll freak out if somebody else runs over a cat and it's
Tell
been
him-
mutilated in the road. He still freaks out.
Just tell him like you went to a ranch or something to run with a bunch of other happy dogs. I don't know. Do the parent thing where you
No,
lie to
he
your
will-
kid.
Oh,
Do the
I
parent.
look shocked. I'm like, what? No.
I know, right? What?
Hey,
No.
our kids still think that Chuck E. Cheese is closed due to COVID, so it's fine.
What?
I'm serious. They're like, can we go to Chuck E. Cheese yet? It's closed. I told you, COVID. It's closed. Why are the lights on? Because they have to disinfect it.
do
And he's
do
like-
you just like cover their eyes when you pass by the mall?
No.
Like
They're like, wait, why are people going in there? I'm like, I don't know. Those people probably have COVID too.
yeah, they're probably cleaning out the COVID of.
I'm like, they're not going in
Chuck E.
there.
Cheese.
Wait, why is Target open? Because Target's
It's so funny because
a
you're
legend. Okay, sponsor me, Target.
Oh yeah, you look like you work at Target, by the way. You just need the khaki pants.
God damn it.
Yo, shout out to Target though. Target's the spot.
These
But
are
no,
actually American Eagle, so yeah.
fuck
no.
American Eagle.
Oh, I love American Eagle.
I'm sorry. When
They
I was
make curvy jeans, so you know,
oh okay.
girls got hips.
When I was in high school, all the like super beans, all the beaners wore like American Eagle, Aeropostale, Hollister. So
Oh, you're hella young because we didn't have American Eagle when I was in high school.
yeah, I know.
Like
you,
the only thing
you
we
said
had
the
was
year you were
Factory
born.
to You, Mervyn's.
We had Factory to You by
Miller's
Peter Piper.
Outpost.
Miller's Outpost with the little houses all around the. You remember that? I don't know why. That's the one thing I remember. Miller's Outpost on the top. So like if you looked like on the walls on the very like near the ceiling, they had like miniature houses.
Oh, I never saw that.
Really? That was if anyone's listening. Last time I was at CrossFit years ago, I was talking to like some older guy, and I said I was like, oh, the place with the houses on top. He looked at me, he was like, and I was like, yeah. He's like, you know, Miller's Outpost. I know it all. Factory to
Well,
You.
wasn't
I know it all.
Miller's Outpost.
I'm old,
where
but I'm
the
not.
gym
I'm
is
young,
now?
but not that old. Huh?
Miller's Outpost is where the gym is now.
Yeah, exactly. Uh huh.
There was little houses on there.
Yes, I'm telling you. If anyone's listening, they're gonna
I'm gonna
bring it up.
Google old pictures of it.
If it has to be the Yuma one. I don't know if Miller Outpost was like a
I think it was.
like a chain.
I don't
Really?
know.
I thought it was a Yuma thing. When I was growing up, anything I
Well,
saw
because
in
Miller's
my town.
Outpost turned to like, don't watch me right now. Turned to Anchor Blue, right?
Yes. And then that was the final touch. And then I don't know. After that, I don't know.
Thanks, Daisy.
Sheesh.
Eh. Yeah. Wait.
But yeah.
Wait,
So
what were we talking about?
I'm gonna take a real quick break.
Wait, you gotta pee.
I gotta pee really hard. I'm telling you, real quick. I was super nervous for you coming on. Like,
Why?
I don't think I've ever been this nervous with any guest, just because
I didn't make you cry yet. You said I'd probably make you cry. You haven't cried yet.
I'm trying hard not to.
Oh,
I
you
see.
know what? No toilet paper.
Toilet paper. I know. Even Saida was like, "I'm gonna go buy her a nice tissue box." I'm like, "No, I think it'd be funnier
No.
if it's toilet paper."
I think it's
She's
toilet paper's
trashy.
fine.
It's trashy.
I'm
I'm just
trash.
kidding. Hey,
I am.
Steven, please don't beat me up.
He loves trashy.
I know. Hey, the trashier the better.
Right.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break and then we'll be back.
Okay.
Okay. You slept until 3 p.m.
No, 11
Oh,
a.m.
That's still pretty late.
Well, yeah, but I had to work that night, so it was
Oh,
fine.
okay,
I didn't
okay,
take
okay.
a nap, and then I just stayed up. My kids
Oh.
are self-sufficient; they can get themselves cereal,
That's very true.
and they come in the bed with me, and they'll watch TV while I'm sleeping, so it's fine.
Oh, okay. So you're still like noise and like the kids running around while you just get your sleep. Are
Yeah.
you a light sleeper? I always ask this. I always wondered this with people being
Yes.
parents.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Yeah.
Steven's not. He can lay down and be asleep in 4 minutes. Me, I toss and turn and I think about like all the shit that could happen that night, tomorrow, and in 5 years. And then I'm like, and then it takes me like an hour to fall asleep. And then I toss and turn. I get up like multiple times to check to see if the kids are breathing. I know, crazy,
Oh,
but
still?
yeah, but that's just something I've always done since even Aiden was like 10 months old. I'm like, oh my god, what if he has a seizure in his sleep?
Yeah.
And so I would
You guys don't have machines or
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
we
watch
do
or
now.
something?
We
Yeah.
have a watch that monitors it, and it'll send an alert to me and Steven. But if he aggressively washes his hands or puts sanitizer on, he likes to go like this. I'm like, you don't get to do so aggressive.
He's
Because
like, I'm killing the germs.
yeah, he'll like send it off, or like at school he likes to do this, and I'll get an alert, and then I don't know if you watch my Instagram stories, you know I freak out.
I watch your Instagram stories.
Where I'm like, I can't find him.
Yes, you
guys, I can't find him because I'm like trying to
yeah.
get Centennial like to go run him down. That happened to get on Friday.
They're like, no, he's in music class. Chill, he's fine.
Oh no, they were like, it's actually Fun Friday. I think he's outside dancing. I'm like, can somebody have eyes on him? Call me back.
Send me a live
he's
feed.
not responding to my calls, and they're like, okay.
So-
And then the nurse gets him and is like, he's fine. Do you want to talk to him? He's like, Mom, I'm fine. Can I go back to class? I'm like, yeah. Can you not move your hand so much?
Can you not just be so antsy?
Right.
Because of Aiden's like circumstances, does like he have to get like extra watch? Like there's like the teachers.
He has an IEP plan, so he has like a individualized education plan, and then he has a healthcare plan as far as like for the school.
Yeah.
So like he gets extra
when
help.
the parents aren't around.
Yeah, so he gets extra help in school because of the medications he's on, things that he's going. He needs extra help, like just kind of like retaining it. So
Okay.
you got to think of it like so like we give him medication, right? Like for seizures to slow his brain down so that it doesn't spit fire off electricity, right? Your brain's full of electricity to cause seizures, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you need him, like you're in class, come on, speed up, think about this, and it's like,
yeah. What's 2 plus 2? And then it's like, yeah.
and he's like, oh. And then there's these things called absence seizures. Now they're really hard to capture. Like we've had him monitored for him, and they put this, like long avatar like leads on him and stuff.
All the suction cups on his forehead.
But it's like, unless he's actually stimulated through school, how do we know if he's getting them? And it's things like pin rolling with his hands, lip smacking with the teeth, like the lips. And then like you can tell when they're having one is like when it looks like they're daydreaming, but you snap your fingers or call their name and they don't snap out of it. You know, like if I was daydreaming, I'm like, hey, what?
Yeah.
Well, I could be like, Aiden. And if he doesn't like look at me,
yeah.
then he's having like an absent seizure. And those can last anywhere from like 5 to 15 seconds. They're not even that long. And but you got to think of it like a dropped call. Like you're talking to somebody, you get a call dropped in a tunnel, and then it comes back on, and you're like, oh, did you? It's okay, so you're gonna meet me there, right? And you're like, wait, where? I'm meeting you where?
So they black out for a little bit.
So or it's like, you know, he's there in math, and he's there for how to solve a problem, right? And he's there for A, B, Mrs. C, D. He's there for, you know,
EF.
the rest of them. And I'm like, what's after D?
I know. I saw your face. I got you.
XYZ.
I got you.
So I was lost.
You're like 3, 4.
So then he lost 2 steps, and then he's trying to go from A to B to E with what he knows, and we're like, wait, you're missing the other part.
You're missing the middle. Yeah.
So he has a plan with people there, and they help him like catch up or
Go
be on
back
his
to
level.
his spot, yeah.
And then there's the healthcare plan as far as like he can't go to the bathroom by himself. Like I know he's in 8th grade and he's 13. Like he goes, but it's more like they give him enough time to see. Like, oh, okay, he's just going to the bathroom. It shouldn't take him more than like 3 to 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Or they have like a buddy system when he was in elementary school. Those kinds of things. So he has like a whole like plan.
And now,
and that's very hard to like let somebody else have control of him.
That's
when I'm not there.
Exactly.
It's very hard.
And so he's what, 13, correct?
Mm-hmm. He'll be 14 in October.
So he's in his teenage where he should be like, I'm gonna be a grown up. Like that's what he's thinking probably.
Yeah.
So with all this extra help, does he like get annoyed by it?
Yes.
Like, why do I need this? And then you guys have to constantly remind him, like,
when
well,
he
remember.
was younger, I was like, man, he's gonna eventually realize. At first, he was like, oh, I'm going to resource. Oh, I'm going this because in elementary they pull you out of class and then they take you in, and you're with other kids, kind of similar to like where you're at, and they do it with you there
with
and,
all the kids that are
yeah,
similar.
and so but they'd give him goldfish, and then oh, you got it right, here's a goldfish, here's something,
So
and so he thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But then when he got to like 5th and 6th, I was like, he's gonna know it's different.
It's not what the normal kids are doing.
Then when he went to junior high, they don't call it like resource, they call it sped ed, like special ed. I'm like,
I've
oh
heard
my
it. Yeah,
god,
yeah.
because all I think of is like 80s movies where he's gonna be in like this specially handicapped classrooms, and he's higher functioning, like he's not special ed, but he's, you know, just needs a little bit extra help, and he's gonna be in these classrooms, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And not that that's bad, but like, that's just not where he's at. He just needs a little bit extra help. But nowadays they don't do that. You're not segregated like that. It's more like integrated. So he is co-taught. There's teachers in the class that teach it, and then there's the the sped teachers and the resource teachers that are in his class, and they are learning what they're doing. They are teaching with the teachers, so nobody knows that it's like separate.
Okay.
And then, so like for first and second period, it's English, and then in second period, he goes to they separate, and then they break it down more, and then it goes like that. Same thing for math.
Oh, okay. So at this point, it's just like,
And it's integrated. So like he doesn't see that it's different.
oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that they
And
kind of,
it doesn't make the kids feel different. So that's
Yeah.
cool. At first I was like, what do you mean special ed? Oh my God.
I know, right?
And then,
Yeah.
cause I just go back to all the like 80s movies and
Well, and
that
that's the
have it
thing,
like that.
yeah.
And,
like back in the day, it was like your kid was either normal or had special ed.
yeah.
Or like was it like special ed class or normal classes?
Any type of special needs or
Yeah.
learning disabilities, dyslexia or whatever, they were categorized
Yeah,
in like
dyslexia
the
was one.
severely special
Yeah.
ed classes. And then they didn't even, it was like they fell between the cracks. They didn't even get the help they needed. Cause they were like higher learning than the other ones, but they were not as high as where they should be. So yeah, he gets help that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just didn't know if like I would feel like in time it'd just be like leave me alone, like especially now that he's in remission.
Yeah,
I feel
he
like
gets like that right now. He wants to
Yeah.
go and like do shit with his friends and like go to get air, and he wants to have a girlfriend and all this. And I'm like, you can't kiss a girl, COVID. And two, you're not going to get air without me because I need to make sure that you're not gonna have a seizure. And he hates that. Like he went bowling the other day, like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, she's a teacher at HLS, but she was like, hey, and her son is in the same grade as Aiden. They've been in the same classes on and off since they went to the same school for like 6 years at HLS.
Okay.
And so she was like, hey, we're taking my son and another friend. Does Aiden want to come? We'd love to have him. I'm like, okay. And I said okay, but inside I was like, fuck.
You're like, can I go?
Freaking out. Oh yeah, 100%. I was like, maybe I should take Evan and we could be like 4 lanes down and we'll just watch him.
Just at a
And
distance, yeah.
Aiden, so it was supposed to be on Saturday. I showed up with him on Friday. I didn't read the flyer right. I didn't read the text right. And I'm like, I'm here. And she's like, wait, it's tomorrow. I'm like, fuck, shit. So, but he was so excited when he got off of school. He took a shower. He got all dressed because
That's awesome.
he didn't have to wear a uniform because he wears a uniform to school.
Oh,
so
that sucks.
yeah, so he got ready. He's like, "What shoes do you think I should wear?" I'm so excited, and he was so stoked to do something without me.
Oh, and
Because
that's hard.
I don't let him.
Yeah, that's hard
And
for
Steven's
you
like,
as a
let
mom.
him do it. Let him do that. Like one time, Steven let him go to the movies. Oh, when I was at work, with another 2 friends, and I lost my shit. I was like, what if
you just
somebody
have, like,
steals them? What if
yeah.
they're getting, raped? They're getting sex trafficked. What if somebody offers them drugs? What if they get,
Oh, so you're thinking like normal parent, not
this
like
isn't
his
even-
seizures.
I don't
You're
even think
thinking
normal parents think that. I automatically am like, oh my God, he's so beautiful. They're gonna take him for sex trafficking and like rape
Yeah.
him and all this stuff. And he would go for a high price. He's got a pretty mouth, And I'm like, holy shit. Like,
You're
he's
too
got
much.
Steven's mouth. Steven has pretty lips. So I'm like, like this.
He's a cute kid. He's got a beautiful mouth. All the rapists are gonna want him.
Right?
Oh,
I'm like, shit. And so I'm
You're
like,
too much.
like they would steal Steven and they would steal Aiden. They would give me and Evan back because we would just talk too much. You've seen those TikTok videos where they're like, so is this where you guys come? Oh, da. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
where's the
what?
candy at? And
Yeah,
it's like, kid,
so
get
those
out of
videos-
here.
Yeah, and then they're like, we're giving you back. And yeah, that would be me and Evan. They would be like giving us back. I'd be like, no, you don't want to sell me? What the fuck?
Yeah, you don't have candy like you promised?
Right,
Where are the
so-
puppies?
So that would be my fear.
Oh, okay.
But I watched a lot of Criminal Minds when I was younger, so like I think that fucked me up. I just assume there's serial killers on every corner, and everybody wants to rape us.
So let me ask you. Everybody wants to. Anytime there's a kid walking along, it's like he's probably gonna get raped.
Yeah, somebody talks to me like, "Are you gonna rape me?" I got that birdie alarm for me and my nieces because they're moving closer to the Bay. My sister's in the Navy, so they're moving to
Oh, cool.
Lawman. I don't know what it's called.
No, I don't know.
Don't quote me on it. Don't judge me. But it's like this alarm you pull, and it flashes like this giant LED light.
Yeah.
And then it sends off this loud alarm.
Like screech or something.
Yeah. Because they're 18 and 17. One just graduated. One's going to a new high school. It's on base, and I don't know. Nobody will probably take me, but you never know. I have to walk into a parking garage at 8:30 in the morning. Somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm taking," pull my birdie out and like do my alarm. But yeah, I like panic about stuff like that all the time. Like somebody talks to me like, "What do you want to rape me?" No, and then I'm like trying to like get in my car.
You're
They're
like,
just
"What-
like,
what are you
"Ma'am,
looking at?"
we just wanted to tell you your gas light thing is out. Your thing's open." Oh yeah, thank you. Close it.
Wait, get away from me, pervert.
So you don't want to rape me?
Yeah. Then you get all sad.
Then I'm mad.
You're like, oh man.
Yeah. Fucking assholes.
Before you had, how old were you when you had Aiden?
I was 22.
So before that, so the way you are now as a parent, were you like, I'm never going to be like that parent, or I'm never going to treat my kid like this? Were you like that?
Mm-hmm.
And now
so
you're like,
I didn't even want kids.
Oh, really?
Mother of the year. I didn't even want kids.
I don't think anyone ever wants kids.
No, well, my sister's a year older than me. 2 years by like grades, but a year older because my birthday's late. And
when's your birthday?
November 24th. We're trying to get that, my maiden name. We're trying to get my social.
At the end, I'll get the social. One more drink and I'll get the social.
So she joined the Navy when she was 17, had a baby when she was 18. So when she would go on deployments and stuff, my mom would watch they pretty much lived with us, the two older ones. And so I had to babysit them. And I was like, I was junior, senior year in high school, first year in college. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm babysitting newborns and 1 and 2 year olds. And I was like, I don't ever want kids.
Yeah.
And then I remember like growing up, like things they would do. I'd be like, I'd never let my kids do that. I'd never, you know what? Don't ever fucking say that because it's karma. Mm-hmm. It is karma. Because you say that and you know what's going to happen? Your kids are going to do that same thing. And that thing you said you're not going to do, you're going to do. Guarantee it.
Yeah.
Right.
So are you guys done with kids?
Yes.
2 and done?
Mm-hmm.
So did you guys kind of wish you had a girl?
So we were trying and then Aiden got sick and we both said no.
Oh, okay.
Because we saw another family that's kid had cancer, and she had another daughter they had 2 older boys, and the baby had cancer, and then they had a baby that was 7 months old, and we saw how much she didn't even see that baby because she was with the other one, and that's literally what happened to Evan, but Evan was 5, you know, and to see how much Evan was, I don't want to say neglected, but like was, and I don't even want to say pushed to the side because I feel shitty, but that's pretty much what happened.
But
like,
it's what happened, yeah.
Aiden was like number one priority at that point, and that's shitty to say, but like survival mode, you know.
Exactly, yeah.
And
that's the thing,
that it wouldn't have been fair.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was like, okay, Amber, you're doing all this, and you're learning shit that you don't even know about, and I'm researching stuff, and how do we do this, and how do we do that, and there would be things that I'd be like, hey, he takes this medication for epilepsy, but I was reading up on it and it mixes really bad with this. Maybe that's why he's having these symptoms. And they're effects, like, oh, you know, because they're oncologists. They don't work with, you know, a lot of neuro kids. Like, and they said they're like, Aiden's a mystery to us because he has epilepsy and it's very rare that you have epilepsy with leukemia. And it makes it difficult because there is 2 chemos they had to take out, which lowers his survival rate. So, you know, if his survival rate's like 80 and we had to take it out, he's jumped down like 12 points of his survival rate. Yeah. So that's a lot. And
the last thing
one time they gave
difficult.
him, then it was like one round they gave him this chemo and they're like, oh my God, he could have volatile deadly seizures with this. And if you have epilepsy, and we gave it to him. And luckily he was fine. There were a lot of really bad side effects that week, but not the really bad ones that they were thinking. And so, with him, he gets a lot of really bad side effects, a lot of neurotoxicity. So there are things where I'm like, hey, I know you don't think it's a big deal, but I want to can we try to take this out? Or can we try to not do this? And then he was good. And I'm like, oh, his hand tremors aren't as bad. And so
it was like taking the good with the bad.
So it was like, if I had another kid, I would have, you know, that's a newborn. That baby needs me, and I would have breastfed, and I would have done this. Or would I not have? Would I have just given the baby to Steven so I could take care of Aiden? Because in my mind, I have to be there to make sure it's done right. Mm-hmm. But Steven's fully capable of doing it. But in my head, if I don't have eyes and hands on him, I feel like he's going to die.
Exactly.
Like, that's how I feel. Mm-hmm. He's not, but I don't know how to give control over to somebody else.
I get you, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's the same thing, but it's like if you clean up the house, or like Steven cleans the house, it's like, well, it's only fully clean unless I do it.
Right. He
same
just
thing.
picks up.
Exactly. Yeah. Same thing with the kid. It's like, it's like Steven can take over and he can do it, but it's like, but he's not going to do what I can do.
Right. It's taken a lot for him to, like, when we would go to chemo, I took him every time. I took him to chemo. I took him to radiation. I took him to all the LPs where they would put chemo in his back. And I did them all. And Steven was like, well, I know you're not going to let me go. And I'm like, I mean, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But, like, this last year, Steven has taken him to more chemo than I have. And it's so hard. It's not as hard now, but in the beginning, I'd be like, FaceTime me, call me, what are his numbers? Da-da-da. How many times did they poke him? How
Any
many
questions? Yeah, let me know. Yeah.
And then and it was to the point where the doctor would be like, okay, I'm in here, to talk. And then she would call me.
Oh, okay.
To be like, okay, Amber, I know you want to know. So
we did all this. Yeah.
And so, I'd send him with a list of questions. Like, okay, make sure you ask for this, in the text, ask this, and this. And ask her if we should do this. Should we take this out? Should we do this? And I mean, Steven's fucking kick ass. He like does it. He's like, you don't trust me. I'm like, I do trust you. I just don't trust my emotions being here, waiting for you to like do whatever. And now I only take him on the third month. So Steven takes him to 2 chemos, and then I take him to the LP, and then 2 chemos, and then I take him to the LP, because that's his time to be with him, and then that's my time to just be with Evan. And then on the LPs, I let him do it one time, and we all went together, and he ended up, I don't remember what happened, but anyways, I do it. And it's just because he gets anesthesia, and the last time he got it, they called a code on him. And and so, they did that in June. And so when it comes to that, I'm like, look, I'll let you do whatever with Aiden. But when it comes to this, I can't give you that. Like you can, because of COVID, he can't come with me. Otherwise he would. I was like, I don't know how to let go of that. Yeah. Like I've let go of so much, like him starting school and Steven taking him to chemo and just trying to like relax a little bit. But that's just like one thing I'm just like, I can't. Like at that point, I know like mentally I'll be like, I'll lose my shit. Yeah. I have to have control. In my head, I have to have control of it all, because then I feel like if something were to happen, then it's on me. Not
because
Steven.
You weren't there.
Not Steven, not anybody else. If something happens, it's my fault.
Yeah.
And because I don't want to like blame Steven. I don't want to blame anybody. I want it to be on me. And I feel like I've had a lot of pressure to be like, oh, you're the nurse. And Steven's dad would tell me, and I hated it. Yeah. And I hated it when my family would tell me whatever. And his oncology team would be like, well, we don't normally let them go home with counts this low or like this, but because you're a nurse and we trust you, we're going to let him go home. And I'm like, no.
Yeah,
don't do that.
I'm a normal person. I'm a mom. Just treat me like a fucking mom.
I never like to tell the nurses that I was a nurse when we would stay, because they treat you different. They assume you know things. Not in a bad way, but it was like, oh, well, you know this. And I'm like, exactly. I don't, though. I'm not a cancer nurse. Exactly. I don't know any of this, and I don't want to be the nurse. I want to be his mom. But then when we're at home, it was like there was so much pressure to be like, well, you know this. He's good, right? He's good, right? He's good, right? And that's what everybody says. But he's okay, right? But you'll fix that, right? But this is okay. And it got to the point where like when they ask you questions like that, it was more like they wanted to just tell him it's okay. Because they were saying it like that because they wanted to know it was okay, because they can't handle the truth if it wasn't. Yeah. And that was really hard to take that stress on. And I think that's where it all like stemmed from. And I just have to have it all because everybody expected me to like know it all, take care of it all, do it all, and like save this kid and make sure I like did what I was supposed to do. So now I don't know how to let go of that control, because I feel like so many people depended on me to do this thing that if I do it wrong, then I'd rather it be on me than somebody else, because I feel like I would be mad at myself for not being there when something bad happened. Yeah. So.
It's crazy that you point that out, because I never even thought about that perspective as far as like being that you're a nurse. And that's the thing too, is like everyone's dumb. Like they don't know, like just because you're a nurse doesn't mean like you do everything. Like you're not universal. Yeah. So it's like the fact that you went through that, and then people are like, oh, well, you work in the hospital, right? So you know he's going to be fine, right? Or like, you know, his levels, like, what does this mean? It's like, no, it's like I don't know all that. And at the same time, it's like, not even if you were like a doctor that we're all having an episode and they're humping each other. I'm sorry. And like,
oh, the dogs are humping each other.
Yeah, the dogs are. Oh yeah. Anyone listening on audio? Yeah, the dogs are.
It's
humping
not
down.
like Saida and me or Saida and Jordan. It's the dogs.
Like, yeah.
They're all humping each other while Jordan's talking. No, the dogs.
Sorry.
Please. Yeah, the dogs.
But yeah, so like, and then like on top of that, like, you're not in the right mindset in general. So it's like the fact that people can assume like, oh, you know this, like, yeah, you probably do. But even if you do, it's like, it's your kid though. Once it comes to your kid, everything goes out the window. Yeah. At that point, it's like you said, survival mode. It's like, okay, what do I need to do? Who do I need to talk to? Where do I need to take my kid to get better? And like, that's all it is. So like the last thing you're thinking of is like, what did I learn in school?
Like simple things. Like even when it comes down to like how you go about your day to day, like if you were to come to me and tell me the shit that was going on in my head, if you were to tell me, I would be like, are you fucking crazy? Everything's fine. You're fucking bossing it up. You're doing this. He's fine. He's doing it. And I would tell you, I would never let you think that like what you were doing wasn't okay. It wasn't enough. It wasn't this. But in my head, and I think what people think is like, it's easier to tell somebody like, hey, this is what you should do versus like allowing yourself to be like, hey, this is what we should do. Mm-hmm. That didn't make sense, did it? I think this was my second one, and I'm making. I don't know how to word it. It's like, okay, well, like if we talk about like self-esteem, right? Like, if a friend of mine were to come up to me and tell me the same thoughts I had about my body issues that I have, or the way I feel, or the way I am, I would be like, are you fucking crazy? Why would you say that about yourself? Like, you're not like this. You're not like that. Mm-hmm. And I would never let that. But I think it's so easy for us to coach somebody through something of how to feel or how to be or how to like be nicer to themselves or think that they're doing a good job and that it's not their fault if something happens, to like allow ourselves to be like, oh, listen to your own advice. Like, you can let go of control. You can trust other people, and whatever happens isn't like your fault. And that's where me and Steven are right now. Like, we've been through hell and back, and Aiden, like, he's doing good. Yes. We have less than a year. We count months now, not years. Okay. And so for us, I've come to the realization of like, I can't do any more than I'm doing now. Like, I can't. If I could sacrifice more, I would, but I can't give any more than I'm giving right now.
You're at full capacity.
Yeah, like we've done everything, exactly. And we'll keep doing everything, and the doctors are doing what they have to do, and we'll step up for whatever we have to do. But at this very moment, I can't do any more than I'm doing right now, and I have to acknowledge that that's enough.
Yes.
Like, okay, Amber, you're already doing everything you're going to do. You got him an epilepsy watch to keep him safe. You got him into school. He has these things going on. You know, Steven takes him and knows exactly what he's doing at chemo. Like, you guys are functioning. He's doing great. You know his routine. Like, everything that you guys are possibly doing that you can do from a non-medical standpoint, we're not doctors, you know, we're not scientists. We're, you know, I'm not God. From that point of view, I've done everything in my capacity to keep this kid alive as far as what me and Steven can do. Yeah. And past that, I need to just acknowledge it. Like, it is what it is at this point. I can't do any more.
Exactly.
Or I can do less. I mean, I won't, but I'm saying like, I think that's where I've kind of been like, okay, like, let me now like just relax and, well, I don't know if I relax, but like live more. And like, he's going to school, and it's been on 3 weeks now. And you know, this last week we had to pick him up. He's been in pain a little bit more, but he's also like on week 3 of going to school and doing PE and staying all day, staying like 8 hours. And, I've gotten a little bit of like my life back too, like going to the gym sometimes, or just actually like having coffee with Steven, or just seeing him. And that has nothing to do with the kids. And allowing myself to not be so focused on like cancer is only our life, and everything that we do in that life has to do with that.
Revolve around that, yeah.
And I let him go to get air and stuff that I would not have let him do last year. You know, well, COVID too, but like, I let him like I let him go bowling with friends, and I would have never let him do that.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that it's not gonna happen right away, where it's like, you can go stay at your friend's house overnight, you can go to an amusement park. It's like it's gonna go in steps, you know. It's 1 minute it's hanging out with some friends, and then it's like going bowling, and then it's going to the movies, and then next thing you know, maybe a sleepover.
And I think it's also because I'm so afraid that I'm gonna lose him, that like he's like, you never let me do this, or you never let me, and I'm like,
he doesn't see that.
What if and I think to myself, I'm like, man, what if this is the last time? Like, what if something happens and he, like, let's just say he does die, right? That's all. I'm not being a pessimist.
No,
I'm just
you're being a realist,
right?
Yes.
What if I held him all to myself, and all he wanted to do was go to his friend's house or go bowling? Because he was so excited, and all he wanted to do was go play laser tag. And I took it from him because I was so afraid that something was going to happen to him and I was going to lose him. So I'm so afraid to lose him that I'm not even letting him live. Yeah. So at what point do I just let him like live? So that's when I was like, me and Steven had this, we have emotional talks, and
of course, yeah.
He's the only one I can actually really talk to, or like he can tell how I feel, because I'm always like,
but he can tell like when I'm like, he's like, Amber, like he knows like, and so it'll be like, I just need to learn to let him live and do as much as I can, but let him live. Because I mean, none of us, especially with this whole COVID thing going on, like none of us know how long we're going to be here. And like, we've had a lot of friends. Like, I think we had 7 or 8 friends between November and January lose a parent.
Yeah.
Between November and January, 7.
Yeah.
And that was like 1 a week was just losing their, and it was like, what the fuck? And these are like, we're young. We're like in our 30s. I mean, to like my 18-year-old niece, oh shit, is that the girl humping the guy? Okay.
And once again, it's the dog, guys. The dogs are in here to break up so you stop feeling sad.
So, shit, what were we talking about?
Like 18-year-old, your
Oh,
niece?
yeah, like, they think we're old because, you know, like, we're in our 30s.
Of
But,
course.
like, that's young to lose a parent. Like, those parents
Super
haven't even,
young.
you know, lived life. And
especially us being
enough.
our age and then still having our parents, for them to think, like that's super young.
So I was like, you know, and what happened to Steven's dad was fucking horrible. And nobody saw that coming, and he was the one that kept the family together. So to see that Steven had to step up and now like that's his role, you know, and I know he feels a lot of like pressure from that. And then that it was more like, oh shit, like Amber, you're trying to just keep your kid alive, but at the same time of keeping him alive, you're not letting him live. Mm-hmm. So let him live because you really don't know. And I'm like, okay, back off a little bit. So I do that.
But and everything you're saying is so true. Like, it's such a tough spot. One, I don't have no kids, so I have no say in this. But just like outside looking in, I see things and I'm like, that's insane. Like, obviously, when you have a kid when you have a kid and he or she's going through that thing, like, that's the one thing you want is you want to be there at every second. You want to see the minute he starts going down, you want to catch it before it could get any worse. So it's like, that's all you're trying to do. You're trying to be there for that moment.
But I've learned that I have to like trust Aiden because he knows what the fuck he's doing. Like, there are times where like I'm doing all of Aiden's meds and it's fine, and then I'll be at work and Steven will call me and be like, hey, Aiden says he's missing an epilepsy med. I'm like, what? And I'm like, show me the thing, because, you know, his pills are set out for the day, and there's 30 pill containers, and it's like morning, noon, evening, and it's like this cool thing Steven found. Shout out to Steven. He fucking found it.
Shout out to Steven.
I have to give him credit for that, because I was like, we need a pill container that we could use every week, and he comes back with one that has one for every fucking day of the month. I mean, day of the week.
So like 1 through 30? Or
yeah,
like
1 through 31.
Like a calendar of pills?
And you just take it out, and there's a little thing. Yeah.
That's dope.
I know.
Shout out to Steven.
Right? He did something right.
God damn. Way to go, Steven. Way to get. You get a gold star.
And he's a good lay, so that's good. So we keep him around.
2 and done.
Yeah. He got the med box, and he's a good lay.
Damn, Steven.
Except for those bitches, don't be trying to take them, okay? Okay.
Yeah, we're not trying to advertise for everyone,
right?
We're just letting you guys know how good she got it. With the guy.
Yeah. With my dudes. With my mans.
Oh man, I love you two together. Just seeing you two lick his ear and he gets shy.
Right. So Aiden will call us out and be like, "Hey, I'm missing this. Hey, this doesn't look right. Hey, where's this pill?" And I'm like, "Okay." And he'll tell you, "Hey, is this one for the nerve pain? Hey, this one is for the steroids. Is this one gonna make this is the one that's gonna make my back hurt this week, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he already knows. Like, and it's like, oh, okay, he gets it. Like, Amber, back off. He can handle this. And I'm like,
of course.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's the cool thing too, is like, I think at that point, now at this point, you should kind of be like, I'm not that I'm telling you should be, but I would just assume that you're kind of like, well, he's got his thing, you know, he knows what's going on. He's 13 years old, but he's got like an adult mind. He knows the stuff he's gone through. He knows.
No, he has a 13-year-old pubescent mind. And so it's not adult like.
But on top of like,
right, he just wants a girlfriend.
He's going through things that a normal 13-year-old isn't. So the fact that he can kind of take care of his own, and hey, I need this pill at this time, like that should show, like, you know, hey,
all he wants is a girlfriend. And Evan likes to say that he has a girlfriend. And
that's the best. I love when kids come like, I got 3 of them.
Evan's like, oh yeah, I like 2 girls, and he's like, you know what? I asked my girlfriend out, and I'm like, oh, you did? And it's different because when Aiden would tell me that, I'd be like, fuck no, you don't have a girlfriend, Aiden. Don't say that. So he never wanted to tell me this. Like, you can't say that because mom gets mad. Like, he gets really mad. And then Steven was like, if you say that, he's never going to confide in you for anything. And you want him to tell him everything, he's never going to do. So then I'd be like, so Aiden, any girls you like? He's like, why? You're just gonna be, I'm like, no, I like want to know. Like, so what's up? So Aiden's been opening up excuse me, more and more about it. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's great.
And you just have
Like
to hold
cringing,
back on
yeah.
yeah.
And then Evan, it's because he's 8. And, but still, if Aiden told me that when he was 8, I'd be like, what the fuck? Who's that bitch? You know, like.
But it's so weird because, like,
it's Evan, so I know he's doing it out of spite for Aiden. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to take 50 cents so I could buy her a Rice Krispie treat. Because I told him, like, Evan, you don't have a girlfriend. Unless you're taking her out on a date, it's not a girlfriend. So he got 50 cents from his nana, got that girl a Rice Krispie treat. He goes, Mom, I went on a date with my girlfriend. It's a girl. She's officially my girlfriend. I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, I got a Rice Krispie treat, and we talked. And that's like a date. I'm like, you ate and you talked. Yeah, it's pretty much a date. And he was like, so see, I told you I have a girlfriend. And it bugs Aiden so much. He's like, it's not a girlfriend. She's a girl and she's your friend. Mom said we can't have girlfriends. He's like, but I have a girlfriend.
Damn.
Yeah.
They're probably like in their room, like, you want to smell my finger? Like,
Ew.
I'm just kidding.
No, he's 8.
Yeah,
No.
I know.
He's probably like, you want to smell my fart? I farted on your pillow. And then like shove Aiden's face
That's
in
very
it.
true. Yeah, it's probably more like an 8-year-old thing, huh?
Or like he'll pick his like booger and like wipe it on Aiden's face.
Ooh.
Or like pick it and try to eat it just to gross Aiden out. Because Aiden is very
Germaphobe?
Steven. No, just
Is he German?
don't talk about poop. Don't talk about anything inappropriate.
Oh, really?
Keep your germs to yourself.
Okay,
Like,
that makes sense, yeah.
Total Steven has morals, has values.
Cares what people
Yeah.
think about him.
What cares about is, what
Appearance.
people say. Don't say that. That's inappropriate. Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And then here's me and Evan like, Wet Willie,
I just imagine you guys in a grocery store or like a Target or some shit and like, damn, like, I think I need some like, my pussy been stinking, so I need some wipes for my pussy.
Okay,
no,
first
as
off-
a joke,
Yeah, okay,
and
but-
then Steven's like, babe, like, oh, you could have just not said that.
Was-
Like,
and
because
that
you
was-
guys do that a lot. I see you
Yeah.
guys in public and like, Steven's just kind of there. And like I said, this is not even joking. You'll come up and you'll lick his ear, lick his neck, and he'll just be like, babe, stop. And it's like, yo, that's
But it's like,
but
it's like with the grossest face.
it's
I'm
so
like,
cute though. Yeah, it's so cute.
and he's like,
he's like,
or poke him in the butt all the time because he fucking hates it.
Yeah.
But to go back to your
He has a
comment,
very
I would
pokeable
never
butt.
say that in public because as vulgar as I am, I hate the P word. I'll say moist all day. I don't think
I
it's gross.
hate moist.
Ew, the P
Moist
word is like,
grows me out.
the P word is
Ugh.
disgusting. When I think of the P
Moist.
word, I think of like, maybe it's because I work around them, but I think of like really dirty, pus-filled, oozing
That's what I think of
vaginas.
moist. I think
No.
of like a dirty, like
I
clogged.
think of like a cake that has like been baked right. That's not dry.
Nah. Moist is a gross word
Right.
to me. But okay, I apologize for
And
that.
I don't think like
I was just
you
giving
know
you guys
how some
an-
girls don't like to be called a cunt. I mean, I don't want to be called.
I don't
a
like
cunt,
the C word.
but I don't think it's bad.
It's sharp.
cunt.
Cunt. Yeah, it's like I don't know. Like
I don't think it's bad. Like when girls are like, oh my god, did that guy just call me a cunt? I'm like, I don't really think that's that bad.
that's
like,
super aggressive. It's
guess,
like bitch and then cunt. The C word is right above it.
Yeah.
Maybe because you're a girl.
No, I mean,
Just
there's
hearing it,
girls
it's
that
like
are
piercing.
Did he just call me a cunt? Like they get more offended than bitch.
Really.
Yeah.
The B word's a big one.
Yeah.
I would never call anyone that. I'd be like, life's a bitch or like, she's being a bitch. But I would never be like, yo, you're a bitch. Because like, it just seems so harsh. Same thing with like the cunt word too. Ugh.
You're a cunt.
Moist. All right. I want to, we've been going on for a while.
Yeah.
But, and the whole episode's about you. I want to
Oh.
get to you.
Oh shit. Okay.
We've been talking about Aiden and Steven and your life and stuff and their life. But I want to get into, with all this going on with Aiden and trying to, work all these hours, working crazy shifts where you're like overnight and then you're dealing with like death and all this stuff and kids. Where's your mental? How are you dealing with this after Aiden and everything? I know we need a drink for this one after this, huh? And
mental.
how are you dealing with it? Like, obviously Aiden has you. Who do you have besides Steven? I feel like there's certain things. I just feel like there's certain things that you hit a wall with like your significant other. It's like, and then they're just kind of like, I don't know how to help you.
Oh no, he's told me that before.
Who helps
He's like,
you?
it sucks that I feel like I don't know how to help you.
Exactly.
Me.
What,
Because okay, like the only person that ever knows how I truly feel, don't get offended, Mom, if you watch this, is Steven.
Yeah.
And I've been with that guy for like 17 years. So he has seen every stage of life with me, and even when I try to fake it, he can tell. He's like, I know you better than you know yourself. Like, you're fucking lying. And I'm like, You don't fucking know me? You think you fucking know
And
me?
you just start crying. You're like, see, I told you.
Yeah. So, you know, there's motions that I go through before. When I get really scared of certain things, when it comes to like a kid or people I know, like I've talked to my friend Ashley, because she's felt lost too, and she knows what it's like to feel like there's nobody to go to because you're in a really bad spot, and nobody knows what that bad spot feels like. There's times where, like, if I get frustrated that I don't know, like, if I think Steven's overworking or whatever, because he's an entrepreneur and I don't know how to be there for him, but also feel like where that's going. I talked to my friend Alex, because she's been an entrepreneur, you know, she owned her own salon. She's still an entrepreneur, 'cause she pretty much works for herself, but like she's owned her own salon. I'm like, hey, am I tripping? Or like, how does this work? Or like, what did you do with Ray? You know, and like that helped our relationship, because I would talk to somebody else, a female, who would give me non-biased, you know, like, hey, well, it's because this is how he feels running the business, or this is how I would feel. And I'd be like, oh, and when it came down to it, the thing that like really helped me the most was not talking to anyone.
Really?
And meditating and doing like yoga. I found yoga like 2.5 years ago when my friend Ashley went through her bad trauma and losing her son and stuff. That's her story to tell. But
yeah, of course.
she would be like, "Can you go to yoga with me?" And I remember we would do yoga, and I was like, "I don't fucking know what I'm doing." And there would be times where we would just lay there, and she would just, you know, you do the shavasana and you're laying there, and she would like reach out, and I would grab her hand, and we would just cry. Or the whole time we're doing poses, I would just look at her, and I'd be like, fuck, I don't know how this chick's doing this. And I would just cry for her. And I would see her, and she would cry. And when Aiden got sick, I did a lot of yoga, and that just like helped. Because I think a lot of times in life, we go through these motions and we forget to just breathe. And when you're doing yoga, they'll be like, okay, relax your shoulders down. And you're like, oh, I didn't realize my shoulders were high. And
You didn't realize you're doing this all the
time. Yeah, and they're like, okay,
yeah.
unclench your teeth. And you're like, what? Oh, okay, take your tongue off the roof of your mouth. And you're like, oh, shit. And you don't realize how tense you are just every day, all day, just tense. And being like, I'm constantly like there for other people, and, you know, like going through the motions with everybody else, that like having somebody tell me like what to do and how to relax helped. And then meditating, I have to do guided meditations, like, because my mind will go off, and I have to have somebody pull me back. So I cannot meditate by myself. Then I start thinking dirty thoughts, and I'm like, oh my God, if we're going to be in this position, and Steven, and, you know, like, then I can't.
How come Steven never done this to me?
Right. So then I have to do guided, because I need to constantly be pulled back to what my intention is. And then when you do yoga, it talks about like, okay, set an intention. What do you want for this class? And usually really good yoga classes, they will talk to you and guide you through the whole thing. And they have like an intention for the class. And no matter what you're thinking, whatever they're talking about relates to it somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And if you just allow yourself to immerse in it, you get so involved into what they're saying. You're like, holy shit. And there's a lot of really good mental health yoga flows and mental health meditations that just help you find what you need to be told that nobody else can tell you. Sometimes it's just saying that you're totally worthy of doing what you're doing, or you are okay. It's okay to feel the way you're feeling. But I think when I can't rely on anyone else because nobody knows what I'm going through, I think I posted yesterday, I was like, stop asking for directions from the people who aren't going in the same direction as you. Nobody's ever gone through what I'm going through. Even if it's a cancer mom, like, we have similar things in common, but nobody has experienced what I've experienced, you know, in my life. Like, and so I've learned that, like, I need to own up to how I'm feeling and get help in other ways. And, you know, we see the therapy person at PCH, and Steven talks to me, and I talk to people that are in similar situations, but ultimately it's on me to be like, okay, Amber, you got to be real with yourself. You're not going to, there's things you're not going to tell people of how you're feeling, because maybe I don't want to tell Steven that I'm super sad, because a lot of times when you tell people, oh, I'm just really sad, or I don't know why I'm sad, or I don't know why I'm anxious, or I don't know why I'm so fucking depressed. Because when you tell people that, they look at you like, but you have a house. but you have a great husband. Your kids are doing great.
It could be worse. I
Yeah,
hate when people fucking tell me that.
But that doesn't mean that there are not
Exactly.
things inside of you that you just can't get out of. I can't stop thinking like, what did I do wrong to get to here? What did I not do to get Aiden sick? What did I not do? When Aiden got epilepsy, I thought it was because maybe I ate bologna and I'm not supposed to, but all I wanted to do was eat bologna, that I became a vegetarian.
I'm trying not to laugh. But
No, I know. I became a pescatarian. I only ate fish when I was trying to get pregnant with Evan because I didn't want to give him epilepsy. So like I put that drama on myself and that stress, and there are things of how I feel that I don't want to tell anybody because they'll think I'm crazy, or they will be like, why are you so sad? Why are you so this? You should be happy. Look at Aiden's thriving. Evan's doing great. Your husband owns a business. You guys just remodeled your kitchen. Da, da, da. What do you have to complain about?
Mm-hmm.
Probably nothing, but probably fucking decades of emotion that I've never even let myself feel. Why? Because if you feel this way, then you're ungrateful. If you feel this way, something's wrong with you. If you feel this way, then, you know, you're just not happy. You're depressed. You're automatically depressed. You're going to be this person. You're bipolar or whatever. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. Sometimes I just don't know why I feel the way I feel. I don't know why I'm always stressed out. I don't know why I over worry or I overthink or I over whatever. And they would tell me in nursing school, you're a really good nurse. You need to stop doubting yourself. You need to allow yourself to know you're really good. But to me, if I take a compliment, I'm super vain. If I don't come back and say an excuse why, oh, Amber, you're so fun, or you're this, or, you know, like, you look great. Oh, it's because I've been eating Takis. This isn't actually like me working out. This is, you know, I have to give an excuse because I don't want them to think that I'm vain or superficial. But what the fuck? Like, why not own that I'm a badass bitch that does amazing shit for my family? I can't, because in my head, I'm like, you should do more. And I don't know why I feel like that, but that's how I feel. Yeah. But I don't tell people how I feel. And there's so many more like deeper demons that I feel. And that has to do with like my childhood and my dad and like my real dad, not my stepdad. My stepdad's amazing, but like my real dad and like losing my little sister when she was little. We used to live in Texas and we moved here when I was 8. Mm-hmm. So none of us healed from my little sister dying. And
I'm sorry for that, by the way. I didn't know that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm learning something new like everyone else.
Yeah, so like I think you just learn to put up this front and you're like, and so everybody just expects Amber to be happy, and Amber's the funny one and she's the happy one and she's the one that, like, I don't know, makes people laugh and says vulgar things and all that. But like then you get that title and you get that, oh, Amber's like this. So when you're not, you feel this pressure to feel that way because well, why are you mad, Amber? Why are you sad? Like, why aren't you like jumping around, you know, and doing flips and like humping Steven from behind and like doing, I mean, I'm just chilling. I just want to have a beer. Like, you know, and then if you don't, it's almost like people are like, what the fuck's wrong with her? And
yeah,
like,
you get like that subconscious feeling like people are looking at me like they know something's wrong.
Yeah.
But
I feel like the biggest, and Steven will tell me, he's like, when you go to yoga and you go to like the healing meditations and you just allow yourself to, because there nobody has to know what you're going through. And every time I do yoga or I do a really good meditation, whether I'm at Studio Y or like it's somebody that I just go to, or I love Studio Y, by the way, they're amazing. Or if I do it at home, or if I do it through the Peloton, which I know you guys have your issues with Peloton, but like
girls only,
right? They have yoga and meditation on there, and they have amazing guided meditations, and I can allow myself to just let my mind go without telling anybody how I feel, without any guilt or any judgment. I can let myself fully feel and cry and just be like, okay, I don't have to feel guilty for feeling this way. I don't have to make anybody feel bad for feeling this way. I don't have to make, you know, because like, I know it probably hurts Steven's feelings when I'm like, oh, I just don't feel like I'm worthy of love, or I don't feel like, and he's like, what the fuck? When did I ever make you feel that way? Yeah. And it has nothing to do with him. It's just how I, over things that have happened like in the past growing up, feel. It has nothing to do with him. But it's like, that is why I am like the biggest believer of like feeling every emotion, that dark emotion, that shitty feeling, that anxiety, that feeling of not feeling worthy of anything, of just the really bad ones that suck you in. You really have to feel those. You can't stay there because it will fucking drown you. Yeah. You have to feel it, because if you don't, I've learned over the years that like it will consume you later on, and it makes it so that you can't function later in life. and you project that on other people, and I become toxic to other people, and I get mad that people can go on vacations when I can't take my son somewhere. I get mad that people are living life like nothing's going on when we're just trying to get our kid to survive, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's frustrating, and I have to like, that's not their fault. I can't be mean to those people. I can't be mad at them because they don't have it. But I don't want to tell people like, I'm so mad that this is their 4th fucking trip they've gone on in 4 months, and all I want to do is take Aiden camping, and I can't even do that because his back hurts, you know, like, and so, but then if you try to explain it to somebody, people are like, damn, she's fucking bitchy, you know, and you feel guilty or you feel whatever. So at some point, or I heard a friend of mine told me one time I was complaining, she's like, Amber, she's like, she loves you, like this friend loves me, but she was like, Amber's a lot of emotion for me right now. I don't know how to handle a lot of Amber's emotions because they're so deep that I don't know how to help her. And it's a lot because I'm going through shit too. And it kind of hurt because I'm like, damn, I thought this person was my friend, but I got where she was coming from. She has her own life. Like,
yeah, she has her own issues.
She can only hear so much of me being like, and that's when I realized, okay, girl, look, you can tell as many people as you want how you feel. And some of them are going to judge you. Some of them aren't. But people have their own lives. So you need to figure out how you can help yourself, because nobody in life is going to help you more than you are going to help yourself. Mm-hmm. And as much as people are there to help you, you have to do this on your own. You have to put in the work. Exactly. And so I tell myself, like, if I get mad about something, okay, like today, I was leaving and I had my coffee and it was like barely a third of it left. Mm-hmm. And I felt really bad for coming because I knew Evan just wanted to see me. I had worked all night. I slept for a couple of hours and I knew there were going to be pugs here. And I was like, Evan would fucking love it. But I was trying to like call you guys to see like, hey, can Evan come and play with the pugs and all that stuff? And I wasn't holding my cup right and it fell. And instantly I wanted to get mad at Evan.
Because he was nagging at you?
No, because the only reason my cup fell was because I grabbed it from the top to call you to be like, hey, is this okay? Otherwise, I was
Evan.
Yeah, I was putting my phone in my bag to leave. And I was like, ugh. And I went to grab a towel and I had to talk myself out. And I think if you would have asked me like 6 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have been like, what the fuck? You see, all I wanted to do was leave, but now you're freaking out. And now I'm trying to, and I was walking to get a towel and I was like so mad. And I was like, you know what? This is not Evan's fault. He didn't ask to go. Your guilt is what is trying to get him to go because you feel bad that you're leaving and you didn't see him and he wants to hang out with you and you're going to go somewhere where there's pugs and you're trying to get him to go and include him. Do not yell at this kid. Yeah. He didn't ask to go. He asked where you were going. You grabbed the cup wrong. Clean your shit and don't take it out on anybody else. And it takes that kind of like, that took a long time for me to not project it out onto somebody else when I should have. Yeah. And man, did I just want to be pissed because I wanted that extra coffee. But it was at the same time, it was, whose fault is this? Whose issue is this? And then I cleaned it up and I wasn't mad anymore. I was like, look, you cleaned it up. You're fine. You're probably going to be like 10 minutes late. Fuck it. Yeah. It's Jordan. He's going to be okay with it. Yeah. It's going to be fine. Yeah. Like, calm down. Because at that moment, I knew I could blow up. I would have left pissed. He's going to be in bed by the time I get home. He would have gone to sleep upset. Like, I don't know what I did. My mom's mad at me. Mm-hmm. And then I would have gone to bed feeling like a piece of shit mom. Yeah. And I already go to bed trying to analyze the day, trying to be like, how should I have been better towards my kid? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, I've learned that, like, I have to just be like, okay, stop. What are you feeling and why? Is that even relevant? And how is this feeling going to help you? Is this going to make you feel like shit or is this going to make you feel better? Because if you think yelling at your kid because you dropped your cup is going to make you feel better, it's not. Yeah. It's going to make you feel like shit at the end of the day. And so I try to tell myself that throughout the day. Like if I get frustrated, like with Steven, like he's like, oh, I cleaned the house. I'm like, you picked up the house or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he tried. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, don't say shit, Amber, because you're going to start a fight. This fool was like, he hates when I call him fool. This gentleman was like, I'm going to do the dishes before she comes home. That should be enough. Like, at least he helped, right? So I have to be like, okay.
I know how he feels too, by the way.
Yeah, pick your battles. Like, hey, he helps you. And all you ever say is, hey, I just don't want there to be dishes. He finally does the dishes. And you want to be like, yeah, but why didn't you do anything else? Like, you know what I mean? Right. Okay. So I have to tell myself, Amber,
how is starting a fight going to ruin the rest of your Sunday when both of you are off? And I have to like tell myself that. And let me tell you, when you try to change not your personality, but your character, when you have to change it, it's very hard. And it's very hard to admit your flaws and your demons and fix those, because it means you were broken and you weren't right. Mm-hmm. And that's not what anybody wants. And it took a long time. Like everybody's like, oh, Amber, you're the sweetest girl ever. Amber has the biggest heart. She's the most caring person. She's amazing, blah, blah. If you knew me in high school, you would think I was a bitch. Yeah. Total mean girl status. Total bitch. I got mad for everything. Called people out. Got people's faces. I was like a little fucking chihuahua. Like, that's how I was. I was still super bubbly, whatever. Not with everybody, but like total like cliche cheerleader movie. Yes. That was me.
Yeah.
I sucks think that like I can admit that I hate that. But I remember being in a job and being like, somebody was like, well, no, it's just because you're a bitch and that's just who you are. And I'm like, that's not who I am. But I didn't like that she said that about me. And she's like, it's fine. I love you. Like, that's just, that's Amber. That's just who she is. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I remember I worked at Logan's. I went around and I asked everybody. Asked the hostesses, the other bartender I work with, everybody but 2 people said, yeah, you're a bitch. And the other 2 were like, yeah, but that's who you are. Everybody loves you for that. And I'm like, but I don't want to be a bitch. And it took me, and that was like 9 years ago. And it took me a lot to be like, I don't want to be the bitch. I don't want to be the person that's like, oh, that's Amber, but hey, she's just a bitch. Don't worry about it. Like, it's just her. I don't want to have RBF. I don't want to have, like, because I'm not that person. I'm really soft. Like, I have Cortezes on. I have a Chingona necklace. But let me tell you right now, I like cuss a lot. And I'm like, raw, fuck them up. I'm fucking probably going to cry the whole way home right now. Like, all my emotions. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no. But I'm saying, like, I'm super soft. So, like, I act tough because I don't want people to know how soft I am. And that's exactly how Evan is. He'll act tough, but that fool is a little... He's a little emotional bug like me. And so it takes a lot to change that. But I think when you ask me, like, who do you turn to? The only person I think at that point, if you've gone through all your resources and to truly, like, be honest with who you are, because I think if you go to therapy or you're talking to your significant other, you're talking whatever, like, in order to truly just, like, let that down, because, I mean, I've let it down with Steven, but in order to truly, like, feel like you have no guard, it has to be you, and you have to just surrender to that and be like, fuck, you were shitty today, or you were this, or you were that, but that's okay because there's tomorrow. And you know, and meditation helps, and yoga helps, and it just gives you, for me, and it just like helps me realize like what's important, or just to breathe, or just there's another time, there's another day, or there's this, and I feel like when you've exhausted all your options and you have help from everywhere, if you are not able to be completely honest and surrendered to yourself, you won't ever like fully heal. Yeah. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like that's why, honestly, that was like one of the main reasons I wanted to bring you on. With everything with Aiden and stuff, like I feel like we all know that. My main thing was like, how are you dealing with it after the fact? You know, and that was like a big thing because I think I've talked to you about it. Randomly, I'll message you. You go on your rants where you post stuff and you cry, and like the fact that you put yourself out there, I'm like you're doing what I wish I could do. Yeah. And I can't even do it like alone. Like I can't cry to myself in the mirror just in front of myself because I feel embarrassed.
You don't have to cry in the mirror.
No, I'm not in the mirror, but just like in a room by myself. I'm like, I'm a loser. I'm thinking like I'm such like, especially being a guy maybe, but it's like I'm such a pussy. Like, why are you crying? Like, and then the P word. Yeah, I know, right? The P word. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, so like so when I saw you post that video
of me crying,
it gave me an idea to like, well, maybe if I do an episode with you, it'll show other people like it's okay, because you posted that and I'm like, you're doing what I do when I'm driving randomly and listening to a song, and I don't know why. I'll listen to a song and I'll start crying. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? Everything's fine. Bills are paid. My girlfriend's happy. The dogs are fed. My parents are happy. Everyone's
but it's deeper than that.
Yeah, and that's, and when you posted that, I'm like, you're posting what I wish I could just do in public.
But you don't have to do it in public.
Not okay. Yeah. Like in front of my girlfriend, in front of like people that like, and just like I said, I couldn't even do it in my car driving. I'd be like getting choked up for some weird reason, and I don't
even think I've cried that hard in front of Steven in a long time, or like that. Like when Steven saw that, he was like, "You posted this," and I was like,
And that one had nothing to do with Aiden. Well, I guess a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That had to do with Aiden was in the ICU. Evan had to go back home.
It was a snowball effect.
And Evan ran out of the car and said, "No, don't leave me." And I was like, "Oh my God." But I had to stay with Aiden because we didn't know what was going to, this was in June. This is when he got coded. And we were like, we didn't know what was going to happen to him. And me and Steven, neither one of us wanted to leave because I was like, he's like, "Well, you go." And I'm not going. And he was like, "Well, I'm not going." And it was more like, we don't know what the fuck's going to happen to Aiden. He couldn't stick out his tongue. He couldn't lift up his hands. He could nothing. And we were like, we're not leaving because if anything happens, both of us want to be there. So he was going back with Daisy was taking my mother-in-law and him back, and he ran out of the car. And I knew he felt like we weren't picking him, and it crushed me because, again, here comes cancer, and it makes you choose. And I knew that this was going to have repercussions on Evan, that it was going to take years to heal.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was so upset that as a mom, I had to choose between kids. And while Aiden was, all medicated, had no idea what was going on. And if you ask Aiden, he's like, "I'd rather be home. If you want to be here, Evan, you can. I'd rather be home. I'd rather be in your spot." But Evan doesn't see it that way. And it was Evan that gets the shit into the stick every time. And I hated that. And I just like cried and I was mad and I was like trying. I even drove to the wrong Phoenix Children's. I went to the one in Mesa and it's a clinic. And I had to drive 40 minutes back to get to but it was good. I just cried. But I feel like those emotions that when you're in your car and you're just crying, you just got to let it happen. And then really think like, am I sad? And then when that happens, like think about it. Like, what am I thinking about while I'm crying though? Is it like death or is it, my girlfriend or is it work? Is it how I feel? And, me and Steven were talking about this. I think there's so much pressure on guys, your guys' age. Like, I don't know, like 27-ish, how old are you?
28.
Yeah, like 27-ish to like maybe
I feel targeted.
40. Yeah, I feel attacked. No, but we were talking about that. Like, there's this stigmatism and this idea that like you have to have it all together. It's very like black. It's different for women. If you are a woman and you are in your mid 30s, 40s, and you're not married, you don't have kids, you got a career, you're owning it, you live on your own, you can pay your own bills, whatever, you are a boss ass bitch. You got your shit together. Not because you don't have kids or a wife. If you are a guy and you're paying your bills, you don't have a girlfriend, you don't have a wife, you don't have kids, but you're paying your bills, you're living, you're surviving, you're still considered a loser because you don't have the family. You don't have your job your career path, whatever. And it's a double standard. Like, it's not okay for men, but for women, it means, oh, hell yeah. She's doing her thing, but why is that not okay for men? And I think that puts so much more pressure on men. And I feel like maybe I'm a little biased because I have boys that I'm like, fuck that. Why is that okay for women?
It's good to get a girl's perspective of that. That's good. Yeah.
There's so much stigmatism because it's like if women don't have it all together, but they're paying their bills, she's a boss ass. She's a boss ass. If she doesn't want kids or wants to do it on her own, whatever, she's a boss ass. But if there's a guy that's like that, it's like, you're not a family man, you're not committed, you don't have your shit together, why don't you have this fucking big ass career? It's like, that's not what you need right now. Maybe you're still trying to figure it out. Do you know I wasn't even a nurse until I was 30? Like, yeah. I didn't even start my career till I was 30. And Steven didn't even start his till he was like 31.
I know a lot of people right now that would like love to hear that. I know a lot of people right now that are like, I'm this age, I should be doing this. And I'm like,
but says who?
Exactly.
Says who? Says who? The 1950s who was marrying off their 17-year-olds to like get this marriage, and they were unhappy because they couldn't be what they wanted to be or who they wanted to be with, and they, it's just not. It makes it crazy.
But then a part of me is like, am I cutting myself short by not thinking that way? Like I'm this, so like if I'm like 28, don't have, my shit together, don't have my career, don't have kids.
But are you trying?
No. But at the same time.
No. I'm not trying. I'm not talking about kids or anything. I'm saying, but
I'm just saying.
But every day you try to better yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then what the fuck does it matter?
But that's what I'm saying.
But you're on your own time frame. Are your bills paid?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, lights are on.
Yeah.
AC's on.
Then who the fuck cares?
I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. It's one of those things where it's like, you've heard it so much. You've seen your parents do it. You've seen your aunts and your uncles do it. So it's like, I remember my parents being my age doing this, But at the same time, it's like, yeah, they had me at a young age, whatever. But it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm at the point where it's like, I still mess with my mom. Like, am I supposed to do my taxes this year again? Like, is that an every year thing? Like, I'll randomly ask her questions.
Do you know that your generation though is like that?
But see,
right?
I don't want that to be an excuse.
No. But it's like I feel like that's just you're just coddled that way because. So like my mom, okay, my mom always talked to us about like periods and growing up and all that. Why? Because you were not allowed to talk about that when she was growing up. You didn't talk about that. You learned about it on your own. So
like when it happened.
So then things that like didn't happen for your parents or their parents and then they didn't get talked to and then or I wish my parents would have done this, they do for their kids. And it like enables them a little bit more and then it enables them a little bit more. And then I've enabled Aiden a lot or Evan a lot, you know? And so it happens with every generation because like, I wish my parents would have done this or I would have done that differently. And that's okay. But being told you have to do your taxes doesn't make you bad. Dude, Steven does our taxes. I'm just saying like we did our taxes. And I was like, did we ever do our taxes, Steven? I'm going to be 37. And I'm asking my younger husband. And we did our taxes, and he was like, yeah, we did them like 2 weeks ago. He's like, yeah, because we have to file for extension. I don't know what the fuck that means, but he does all that
exactly,
shit,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm just saying like in general, like just a general like thing that happens that like I feel like adult people should deal with.
The mold is getting broken on how and what age you need to start living and doing and have achieved by a certain thing because there's so much pressure on that. And I think, you know, the good, you know, like this generation coming up, is super soft, cancer culture, whatever. But at the same time, it's more like, I'm not going to do what my parents were doing at this age. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do what I want, when I want, at the time I want.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
As long as your shit's getting paid and nobody's getting hurt and you're not getting arrested, fuck them.
Yeah. No, but yeah. It's.
And I mean, as long as you're not like out there making a bunch of babies that you're not taking care of, you're fine, you know?
Yeah.
You're just having these dogs hump each other.
Yeah, I know they're gonna have the kids, and we're gonna be the parents and like have to.
Well, you said they're brother and sister, and they'll have dumb babies, so you can't do that, right?
Well,
like
they already have eyes that look left and right at the same time.
Do you want one to go up and down?
That would be cool, actually.
And then they turn sideways.
But yeah, no, we gotta end this because I know you gotta get home. It's Sunday. We want you with your kids.
Right.
We want you, but
P.S. We need more views than Eric. So
yeah, so
fuck Eric. And his cameras. I love Eric. I'm just kidding.
We all love Eric. We're all just very salty of his success because he's such a badass person. He gets
we're not gonna pump him up on mine.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. But
Amber Garnica.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out. Thank you for being on my podcast. Thank you for being so open with everything. Thank you for.
I'm sorry, I cried like a little bitch. I didn't even use the toilet paper.
You use my toilet paper?
No, that's why I do my eyelashes, so that way my mascara doesn't run.
Keep that. There you go. Keep that in the notes, girls.
Novi Lash.
Novi Lash, yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to Novi Lash for sure. But thank you so much for being just so open. I really wanted to get you on here, like I said, just because everything you've gone through. I just want to see how you deal with it, and I think you have a lot of knowledge, just on your personal, like on your own, that a lot of people, even if they're not dealing with the same stuff, they can still be like, maybe I'll try yoga, maybe I'll try meditation, and just how you deal with it, especially with such an extreme case. They might be like, I'm not that bad, so maybe I can just do something like this and I'll be fine. But I just really want to get you on here because I really wanted to share your story. Yeah. You're an amazing person.
Thank you. So are you.
Like I said, you're my favorite person that I never hang out with, and we need to change that soon.
You're my favorite person I never hang out with. I don't know if that's an insult or like a compliment.
It's a backhanded compliment, as one would say.
It's like a bitch slap. Like, you're my favorite person I ever hang out with.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're my favorite person I hang out with, but we never hang out.
Yeah.
So thank you. For being
you got cute dogs. I'll be over.
Thank you.
With my I was gonna say with my dog, but I meant with my son, Evan.
Hey, dog, son, same thing. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's fine.
But thank you in for being episode 45 of the Slob on the Pod.
I'm excited.
I can't wait to have you on again. I really hope I can have you on again.
Yeah.
I hope we've made you comfortable.
Yeah. Next time I'll bring my kid though, and he'll play with the pugs, and then he'll come in here, he'll call me out, and be like, you know what my mom did?
I can't wait.
Yeah.
We should have had that.
He'll
but
probably say something that I've done naked or something like. She was in the bathroom and she was dancing and I walked in on her. Yeah, it'll be something weird like that.
I can't wait. Definitely next time. Thank you, Amber Garnica, for being on the episode. And I guess thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah, if you're still listening, 2 hours later, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're done. We're done.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Oh shit, that was long.